All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Wrestling with Holiday. I'm your host, Holiday, and as you can see, L.A. Brooks is back in the building.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the
What's going
show.
on? Thank you for
And
having me, man. Thank you for having me. It's
oh yeah,
good time to be a wrestling fan, man.
of
It's a good
course,
time to be a wrestling fan.
it's on fire right now.
Indeed.
But
Indeed.
today we're gonna talk about the wrestling Mount Rushmore. I'm gonna get your take on what your Mount Rushmore wrestling is. Then I'm gonna get my take, have conversation, compare, and see what's what at the end.
All right. Well, so I was thinking about this when you brought this to my attention. I was thinking about this. And I came to two conclusions. The first conclusion was, first was a question. What's the criteria? Because I feel like different criteria can really impact who actually stays on the Mount Rushmore. Because I can think of, like, right now off the top of the dome, about 10 people that deserves to be on Wrestling Mount Rushmore. But when you start adding criteria to the list, it can weed out, it can weed out folks where you now get that 5. How many is it on Mount Rushmore? Is it 4 or 5? It's 5, right?
The actual Mount Rushmore is 4, but since we're talking about wrestling and most people say top 5, we're gonna put it to 5. But
top 5, dead or alive.
I would say the criteria would be obviously in-ring skills, character work, mic skills, and then I would say overall presentation.
All right.
And what we can do is we can go back and forth. We can start at number 5 and then work our way up.
All right. Well, I'll say this. It's in no particular order.
Okay, all right, you got it. We can do that then.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to put yours in order, you put yours in order. But I don't know if I have a particular order right now. I might have to come back to that. You might be able to even convince me of where people should be. But right. I'll say for my 5th, for number 5, I will put Shawn Michaels on the Mount Rushmore. I mean, when you talk about impact in wrestling from the Generation X, in at least 2 different installments as DX, you got to put him up there. The beefs that he had with Bret Hart, to be a part of the Montreal Screwjob and what that did to, like, wrestling, where now wrestling stopped being like this fake character fantasy type thing to, all right, we embed in real life in this, like what's real and what's just wrestling.
Yeah.
Like you can look at that and say that was kind of the catalyst for that. To go up toe to toe with WCW, with the New World Order, like, would have hurt back. Like, he was literally carrying WWE on his back, would have hurt back during the Monday Night Wars. Like, it was Shawn, like before Rock became The Rock, it was Shawn holding it down with DX. As far as like matches, is you got some people, and there'll probably be some folks that you name that I don't want to, spoil it as far as, how I feel about them. But it's like, I think that there are some like wrestlers where they have like the charisma, they have the mic skills, but when you sit there and watch a match, you get bored out of your damn mind. It's like headlock, knock down, let me pander to the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like, It'd be a whole bunch of that. But like, as far as like the action, I mean, he was putting on top tier quality matches with like Jericho. Like, he can go with a Jericho. He can go with a John Cena. He can go with Hulk Hogan. He can go with Ric Flair.
Yeah. With anybody.
With anybody. The Undertaker. He had matches, bangers with The Undertaker, bangers with Triple H. I think they had with the Iron Man match where they both had to be let out on the stretcher. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
I forget what kind of match it was, but it was one of them long ass matches. Like he got it. He got it all. Now, I'll say that what probably hurts him in some people's eyes is his mic skills. You know, he wasn't the best with, being on the mic. He had a charisma, but that charisma always kind of needed something extra to like get it, like those times where Shawn Michaels, like kind of pop on screen. It was, through some DX stuff where Triple H was kind of involved in it, or like uh, whoever was his adversary at the time would carry it. You know what I'm saying? Even with him and Bret Hart, it wasn't so much about them, like really like displaying crazy mic skills when they was talking. It was just more, as you could tell, it was the bad blood between them. You know what I'm saying? But I think that would probably put a damper on or kind of hurt like his footing. And that's why I say it's no particular order, because you can get down to the details. You know what I'm saying? Like the little schematics on this person's mic skills versus this person's charisma versus this person's matches. But like, as far as when you look at, just the overall criteria of it, you gotta have Shawn Michaels on that list.
Oh yeah. I definitely agree. Also one other caveat I forgot to say. Whoever you name on your list, I can't put on my list. And vice versa.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh,
Yeah.
you throw fastballs on Wrestling Holiday. All right.
Yeah, got to, because it's gonna be a lot of crossover.
It
And we don't put
is.
that in
It
there.
is. I'm gonna have to take notes now, man. Make sure I don't repeat the wrestlers, man. All right, so who you got coming at number 5 on your head, man?
My 5, Bret the Hitman Hart. Best
State your
there
case, King.
is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. He put on a lot of good matches with a lot of people. He was the first time that the Undertaker had a match where he kind of had to sell, and he got to showcase that he could actually go in wrestling, where he just wasn't walking around like a zombie and doing these slow strikes and stuff. So that I think that catapulted Undertaker into a different atmosphere, because he was able to showcase he can do more. His submission skills. He was the first one I saw use that figure 4 leg lock in the corner around the turnbuckle. So he was very inventive with stuff. He I think he sold like crazy. That turnbuckle move where he would run to the turnbuckle real hard. Yeah. And I thought it looked like he would cave his chest in. He never did though. Like it was like the little things that he did, like his technique and everything. Like it was undeniable. Now with him, his mic skills was lacking big time.
Big time.
He didn't have mic skills, but I believe that he had everything else, like his presentation, his character work. The mic skills was just the only thing. When he would talk on the mic, it would be like, I wish your mic skills would come across how your in-ring skills come across, because he put on some great matches.
He did. But you know what I think hurts him? Also, not only just the mic skills, the lack of longevity. Because like when you think about when Bret was coming up and he was not the Quebecs, the Hart Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So there was the Hart Foundation, and he had, a couple of years there with that. Then he got a shot where, he had the matches with Taker. He had the matches with Shawn Michaels. He had the match with his brother. But then it's like the Jerry King Lawler. He had that beef with Jerry King Lawler for a bit when Jerry was like way past his prime. Like Bret shouldn't have been in no damn feud with.
I'm not gonna hold you though. That feud was entertaining as hell. Like the way Jerry the King Lawler was coming at his parents, it was gold, and the selling point wasn't really that this was gonna be a 5-star match. the selling point was Brett was going to get his get back.
And I get that, but it was I don't know, man. Like to me, it just seemed like more like gimmicky. It was like gimmicky more than it was like a show. If I get it, it's wrestling, and it was a good storyline. But then you got like a 50-year-old Jerry King Lawler versus Brett. I just wish they wouldn't have did it with him. Like put anyone else in that feud with Jerry Lawler at that point. Like Brett should have been like going for a belt, not go. Wait, was he the champ at that time?
Nah, I think that was when Shawn Michaels wasn't it after when Shawn Michaels beat him.
I thought it was before.
Wait, was it? I'm trying to think. Was it 9? Wait, what happened? 95. Oh yeah, I think that was when Diesel was the champion.
Diesel, okay.
Yeah, so Diesel had the title for like a year. So it was one of those feuds.
The Continental champion. Shawn Michaels had
Shawn Michaels. Yeah. And that was Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon. They had like So at the time, he was still prominent on TV, but they put him in that feud. And at that time, who else could he have feuded with like that? That Jerry King Lawler, he was funny. He was hilarious.
He was.
It was like the stuff he was saying, it was like the build towards the matches was what it was because Jerry carried it as far as the mic work.
He did.
But like
but
go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, I think he brought something out of Brett. Like it showed like his fire. Because before that, it was just like, I'm the best there is, best there was, put you in a sharpshooter, all about business. And that John, it was like, oh, Brett is pissed.
yeah, it showed an emotional side of Brett.
Yeah.
But all right, so you know how like when we talk about the NBA, it's like you got to have eras, and then they say, well, this era, like the 80s, they was going up against cokeheads, and in the 50s they was going against plumbers and trash men.
Yeah,
that in a sense does count. Brett, like that just speaks to how barren the WWF roster was, WWE roster was like during that time. Like it was some mid, like I'm talking like Repo Man, and not that they wasn't like good entertainers or good wrestlers, but we talking about Repo Man, Doink the Clown.
Oh yeah, that was before. That was before
50s.
That was right before the Attitude Era when they was doing all these characters, Duke the Dumpster Josie, and all that. Like, that was a bad time.
Kona Crush, like all these gimmicks. It was like mad gimmicks, and no like prime like that. To me, that matters. You know what I'm saying? Like that matters. If you have feuds, and I remember when I was talking about even with Chad Gable with the Wyatts, it's like you got feuds with like characters that it doesn't speak to your ability. So when you like matching up your criteria as your matches, it's like you had a subpar match with the Wyatt Six. Like you had a feud with a 50-year-old Jerry King Lawler, man. Like
the only reason I'm okay with it because even though he wasn't an active wrestler in WWE at the time, he was still wrestling full time.
He was.
For I think it was not AWA. What was it?
It was Mountain Valley or Tennessee, some Nashville.
Smoky Mountain. I think it was Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Yeah. He was the champion there for a minute.
Yeah.
While that feud was going on. So he was still active. If he would have been retired for 15 years and then they brought him on and he did that and then he wasn't really funny and it wasn't entertaining and then they finally had the match and he couldn't move, then I'd have been what are y'all doing?
Jerry was for sure. Jerry got some illegitimate kids out there, all below the Mason.
Oh yeah, for sure. The way he got too excited about puppies.
Yeah, and he was the man down there for a minute. You ain't telling me Jerry wasn't getting cheeks down there.
Oh yeah,
that man was in his 60s getting cheeks.
He was. All right, so It's
All
on.
right,
It's
so
on you now.
we got Michaels off. We got Bret the Hitman Hart off.
Yep.
So my number 4, and this is, I mean, like, yeah, this goes without saying, The Rock. I got The Rock. You know, I mean, the charisma, the mic skills, the in ring. You know, although some of his in ring, he was trying to be technical, but he wasn't really technical, or maybe because of his size. Like, his sharpshooter never looked like Bret sharpshooter. You
Oh
know what I'm
no.
saying?
Yeah.
Like his submission holds always look out of place for what he was. But just his magnitude in the ring, you know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't take anything away from that. You know, I mean, the feud with Hulk Hogan, where he bought, like he went in there as a baby face, like, and then during the match, he realized, like, halfway during the match, like, the crowd is not accepting me as a baby face, and he switched up his whole style to represent a heel in the
Yep.
middle of the match. Like, at that maybe to wrestlers that seems like that's an easy thing, but for me, looking at that, like, the psychology that you have to go into, not only but just the planning of the match. Like,
Yeah.
you're planning, all right, well, you're going to get the baby face spot because the crowd's going to pop here, and then we're going to do this spot. So you already got everything planned out for what you're going to do in this match, and then midway through, you just gotta audible that whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that. I always like that. You know, and then even to be, you know, again, Shawn Michaels feuded with Hulk Hogan. Shawn Michaels, you know, had the crowd. It was a moment when they wrestled, but when The Rock and Hogan wrestled that first time, like, the atmosphere was like, I'd never seen anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Like that took it back to like the 80s where it was like Hogan versus Andre the Giant. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of like stature. So yeah, I think of course his battles with Stone Cold Steve Austin are memorable.
Oh
His
yeah.
battles with
Epic.
Triple H, yeah. Triple H, the Intercontinental title battles, like, they made the
Oh
Intercontinental
yeah.
Championship mean something. Them battles
Yeah.
that they had, that was fun to see. Shit, he had a show, a wrestling show named after him, like
Yeah. SmackDown.
SmackDown Top Rock, you know,
Yep.
and just like to be, you know, Steve Austin. I feel like Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels, I feel like, were the catalyst of the Attitude Era. You know, like, you know, as far as like just bringing it in. Shawn Michaels with DX, and then Steve Austin with the Austin 316 says, "I just whipped your ass." So they were what started that Attitude Era, but The Rock held it down the
Oh yeah,
entire
for
Attitude
sure.
Era. You know what I'm saying? Like, they passing the torch. Shawn Michaels lost his smile, and Steve Austin, you know, was beefing about his contract, and The Rock just held it down. Like,
Oh yeah.
you had people like, I used to play ball, you know, it was in high school. So I would play ball on Monday nights with my uncle and my uncle's friends. So, you know, if I'm 14, 15 at the time, these dudes in their 30s, you know, like cops, accountants, lawyers, you know, these type cats, where, you know, we go in there and balling. And at this time, you know, wrestling was like the kids thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you kids just watch this. I'm talking to grown ass 40-year-old men about The Rock. Like, yeah, The Rock came in Gucci loafers and he did the people's elbow. It's like he brought a whole nother demographic of wrestling fans into the sport. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like where everybody was glued Mondays. It was like Mondays at 8 p.m. or was it 8 p.m.? It was 9 p.m. I think. 8 and 9, whatever the start time was.
Well,
You
for
was glued
SmackDown or for Raw?
for Raw.
Yeah, Raw was 9.
9.
Yeah.
But you was cool because you knew The Rock was going to be, The Rock was coming out in the beginning of the show. He was going to say something funny. He was going to smack someone and get him with the people's elbow. And then you knew at the end of the show, you know, The Rock was going to be wrestling. And at those times, it seemed like it was like primetime TV. So he was, undeniably The Rock. Got to put him up there. You know what I'm saying? And to be the fight, like even the final boss stuff.
Oh, I was just about to mention that. Yo, final boss was epic, yo.
The final boss. He straight bought Hollywood. He really brought Hollywood to that whole feud that they had to kind of do impromptu. But all the the back end where he whipping Cody ass with the belt, like this is a gift for Mama Rose. I mean, he still had it. He still had it. Man.
That was amazing. Just the promo work, man. It was he got everybody invested. Like everybody was interested. Like it was crazy, man. And think back when he first came into business, he wasn't The Rock. Mm-hmm. He got booed, and he was supposed to be a babyface, Rocky Maivia. He had the hairstyle,
the blue tribal stuff. Yeah.
Like it wasn't
doing
working.
The frog splash off the top rope. I remember the Rocky Maivia.
The crowd back then is nothing like the crowd now, and the crowd back then was saying "Die Rocky, die," and he was a babyface, and I was like, "Yo!" And then he came back, he joined the Nation,
and
that was the start. Like it just went all in after that.
Wearing fanny packs, right? Remember the Rock? Right, come out with the fanny pack
with that turtleneck,
with the black turtleneck. The Rock says this. Yo, don't give my friends Rolexes as a present and then give me a picture of you. We gotta fight outside. We gotta fight out back. Everybody walking away with presidentials, and I just got a picture of The Rock.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, man, The Rock is definitely there. He's definitely there.
All right. So you say The Rock. I definitely gotta go. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Hell yeah. Like you mentioned, the catalyst of the Attitude Era with Shawn. When they allow him to be himself and not be the ringmaster, that was like the best thing ever. The whole thing with Jake the Snake Roberts when he improv'd and said, "You talk about your Psalms." Well, Austin 316 says, "I just whooped your ass."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I would say his in-ring work because he's supposed to be a brawler. It worked. Yeah. It worked for him.
It did. And he had some technical with him too.
Yeah.
He had some technical with him.
Yeah, he definitely did.
He was technical when he was with the Hollywood Blondes back in WCW.
When he was stunning Steve.
Yeah, stunning Steve Austin. Yeah, when he had yo, that was my team. That was my on Saturday morning. It's like, yo, the Hollywood Blondes coming out. Brian Pillman and Steve Austin. Yeah. And wait, sorry, before I let you, credit to Paul Heyman too. Because like even when you say they didn't allow Steve Austin to be Steve Austin, like I remember the first time, because again, I saw him as the Hollywood Blondes at WCW. Then I think he was like stunning Steve Austin by himself, and then he kind of just like he just kind of you didn't see him again anymore. I remember looking at ECW channel 48, you know what I'm saying? And he was like doing vignettes where he was just like talking shit. I'm like, yo, that's the ball Steve Austin, like oh, that's how he talked, because he always seemed like a prima donna with the Hollywood Blondes. So I'm like, all right, this dude must be some snotty little California boy, you know what I'm saying? This dude was, this is Steve Austin. I'm like, oh shit, like he got personality, like, you know what I'm saying? So credit to Paul Heyman on that, man.
Oh yeah, Paul Heyman got vision, man.
Yeah, he do. Yeah, look, everything that you see in WWE can be credited to Paul Heyman, man.
Yep. But those promos led him to get the contract in WWE. Even though at first they put him with $1 Million Man, he was the ringmaster. Yeah, didn't say much, but he said that his ex-wife was watching something, and that's where he got the idea for Stone Cold. And then he was just allowed to do that. And then after that King of the Ring match when he became King of the Ring, he said that Austin 316. that was crazy. Like it was like a whole wave. It was nothing you seen since the Hulk Hogan days.
Yeah.
Like it was like merchandise everywhere, Austin 316 shirts. Everything.
And then you had this white boy, like, was he a skinhead? Like is he a skinhead or is he just an asshole? You know what I mean? Like he talking shit, but he don't seem racist, but he just be like stomping people like and drinking beer with jorts on.
Exactly.
with tight ass jorts and knee braces. Like, yo, who is this dude, yo? Yeah,
that boy, it was, and the crazy part is that he never said he never declared himself as a good guy, a babyface or heel. He would just come out whoop ass, but the fans loved him.
Yeah.
So like he was probably like one of the only wrestlers that actually never declared. Well, no, when he did the whole Vince McMahon thing later on, he was actually a heel at that point.
Yeah.
At the height
at WrestleMania versus The Rock. Yeah.
But at the height of his stardom and superstardom and everything, he one of the few wrestlers that never actually had a clear babyface heel.
Yeah, that's true.
He was probably the most popular, most successful tweener that we'd have never had.
Yeah. It's let me see who else will be on that list. Who will be on that list of no heel, no babyface? I want to say The Rock will be on there because, like, even when he was a baby face, he would talk shit. He would still talk shit.
He would. But the difference was when he was heel, you could tell like he wouldn't let the crowd join in when he would say stuff.
Sing along with The Rock.
Yeah.
And
like,
that's true. It's true.
Yeah. Shit, I can't think of nobody else that was actually like just in the middle, like
not even Ric Flair. Nope.
Nah.
Damn, I think Triple H maybe. Triple H kinda, even when he was a baby face, he wasn't like, he was just more goofy as like a face, but not when he wrestled. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you could say DX as a whole, because DX as a whole, they didn't really declare themselves, but
until they start coming out with the neon green glow sticks.
Yeah, 2006, because they was going against Vince, so it was like they was obviously, but though that early DX, it was like it depended on who they went against, like whoever they were facing determined what they were supposed to be, but the fans still loved them.
Yeah, true.
So
who else had that? It's really not a lot of people that had that. Like when you really like think about Bray Wyatt, maybe like Bray Wyatt character.
Bray Wyatt's character was that he was here to save everyone. He was salvation. So he was technically a tweener, but people loved him.
Yeah. And some as the Fiend. Like it was still kind of like, he was never really just one thing. The baby face part of the Fiend was Bray Wyatt doing the Bray Wyatt character in the Fun House.
Yeah.
But even the Fun House, it was never like just always just like goofy. It was like everything had a point to it, and then it always got serious at the end of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, he can go on that list. He can go on that list.
Yeah, definitely Bray. I forgot about. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that.
That list is small though.
It really is. It really is. It really is.
Like Stone Cold, he had the mic skills, in ring, overall presentation, everything, character work.
Yeah,
he was funny as hell.
He was.
It was everything. Like that Booker T supermarket fight.
Yo, I watch at least once a month.
Yo, That thing was hilarious, yo. It was so funny, like, and it was simple stuff.
Yo, how would you feel if you came to work that day and and your manager just like yeah, so after you clock in, we're gonna need you to the clean up. Like, wait, clean up for what? Well, still and all, Steve Austin and Booker T came in here and they made a pretty big mess in here. Like, was that like a real supermarket? Like, don't be the guy that had to clean up after that. Like,
I
I
know.
didn't sign up
Yeah.
to clean the clean up this shit. Like, I signed up to clean spills and now four, not the entire supermarket.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was, yeah, I couldn't even imagine being that person that guy. Gotta clean all this up. They made a mess everywhere.
Yeah, in the Bango Hall.
Oh yeah. Yo, that was, yeah. But yeah, Stone Cold for sure. He deserves to be on everybody list.
All right, that's good. All right, so now we got, so what we say? Sean, Brett, The Rock, Stone Cold. So who's gonna be my third? All right, I'm gonna have to, of course, go with Ric Flair. Ric Flair, jet flying, limousine riding, wheeling, dealing, kiss stealing, son of a
Son
gun.
of a gun.
You gotta put Ric Flair there. He just stopped wrestling like what, 2 years ago? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
pretty much. Yeah.
2 years ago, he just stopped wrestling. Like from the 80s. From the 80s. And for the most part, even like in his twilight, I mean, this dude was in the 60s putting on like matches. I mean, obviously, like his in-ring skills were better, more technical in like the 80s and 90s. But the stories that he told in the ring, even if they were predictable, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole he get beat up, get into the corner, poke you in your eye, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He had classic matches with Shawn Michaels. He had classic matches with Triple H. Four Horsemen, like you talk about like stables, Four Horsemen, one of the top stables ever in the history of wrestling.
Yeah.
That Royal Rumble that he won in '92 to win the title.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You gotta add that to the foray. The battles that he had with Randy Savage.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Yeah, Rick is up there, and like he is. I don't think you get Shawn Michaels without Ric Flair. I don't think like a Dolph Ziggler. You don't really get like a Dolph Ziggler without like Ric Flair. Like he has a lineage. Oh yeah, side note, I want to talk to you about Carmelo Hayes that I had an observation on. We want to talk about Money in the Bank later, but
yeah.
Carmelo Hayes is Black Dolph Ziggler.
Oh yeah, his
he is
his
Black
selling
Dolph,
and everything. Yeah.
Like the whole moniker. You might as well put a big whiteboard with him and have him dating have him like give him a manager and give him a security ball and just let him be Black Dolph Ziggler.
Right.
I mean,
I agree.
But back to Ric Flair with it. The only thing I would say Ric Flair probably, I mean, I guess like, again, I'm not from like the 70s, 80s. So I will assume that some people like historians will say that he was like a draw for, what was that? NWA, prior to WCW, those kind of, wrestling federations before my time. So sorry. Before my time.
It's the territories.
Yeah. But, I lost my train of thought. So no, long story short, like Ric Flair been around for a minute. He's been in some really good stables. His wrestling tree is tremendous. He gave us Charlotte Flair, who is probably one of the Mount Rushmore of women wrestler, all time women wrestlers. And he's did it for a very long time at a very high level. A little racist, a little racist here and there. He gotta.
Yeah.
He
got
racist.
A sprinkle.
Yeah, just a little salt-based sprinkle of racism there, you know.
Yeah.
But, so you gotta point that out. But as far as like wrestling skills, Mike, talent wise, charisma, he got it. Ric Flair drip.
For sure. I agree. He definitely gotta be on anybody's Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
All right. So you go Ric Flair. I'm gonna match your racist with another racist, Hulk Hogan.
I knew this. Let's have the conversation. This is why we pie. This is why we pie. Because he is not on my Mount Rushmore. He is not. He is nowhere near my Mount Rushmore.
You wanna know why? I don't. When I was a kid, I loved him. When I got older, he's not like, if I'm just talking about in-ring skills.
Yeah,
and mic skills and stuff like that, he's not. But we're talking about the overall. And in the 80s, what he did to wrestling, what he did for wrestling, like, it's undeniable. You can't.
He picked up a fat drunk man and slammed him. Like, come on,
I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about his draw. How he drew in fans. He became a movie star. Can't act, but his movies, his No Holds Barred. I still watch it to this day. That movie, that's my movie.
Smell.
Yo, his draw, what he did for the business in the 80s, he was a huge star. Don't get me wrong. Like, his in-ring skills, no, he had like 3 moves. Well, here, I've seen his matches in Japan. He was allowed to do more over there. He could do a lot if he was allowed to do it, but for here, they just wanted him to do that, the 3 moves.
Yeah, wait, I'm sorry. Hold on real quick. Hold on.
All right, no problem.
Hello?
Yeah, no, you good. They wanted him to do 3 moves, and them 3 moves took him out of this universe. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He did a lot of things. He had Hulkamania was running wild. He sold everybody on that dream. Take your vitamins, say your prayers. Even though he was eating up his steroids,
You know what
I'm saying? Like, it was the presentation of Hulkamania. It did.
Blonde hair, blue eye, white man.
Yeah, but in the 80s, that worked.
That was it. That was
all you had to do was be blonde hair, blue eye. You had to be huge.
Yeah,
because they wanted you to be jacked. And then he had a crazy tan. When I was young, I thought he was black.
Oh, snap.
At first, because I was
until you heard the tapes later on.
Yeah, but it was exactly. But because of his skin tone, his tan was so crazy. I didn't know. I'm like, I didn't know that. Yeah, and he always said brother.
So and he stayed with the headband. You know what I'm saying? The little bandana.
Yeah,
I tell you something, brother.
But like,
so I just saw news today. Apparently, he has a beer or an alcoholic beverage that he's marketing. So he had this one woman he had this one woman's marketing team helping him market his product.
Mm-hmm.
So she is a black woman. Now she says she did an event for him, and I don't think he met her before the event, but she did an event for him. After the event, she received a text message saying that she didn't do anything wrong, but they were going to go in a different direction. So they canceled her contract and then replaced her with 2 white women, with like 2 young white girls. So the headlines are saying that allegedly Hulk Hogan, canceled this woman's contract when he found out she was black. like he ain't know.
I mean, history, his history.
Yeah, and you know what? I kind of get it. I kind of get it. Like, I'm not drinking American beer. Like, whatever his beer, I'm not drinking it. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't a Corona or a Foster's, I'm not drinking it. I don't know many brothers drinking anything other than, you know, the Coronas, the Heinekens, you know what I'm saying? A little Miller Lite every now and then. Budweiser. We ain't drinking that shit. You know what I mean? Like this, that ain't Ciroc. You know, it
Yeah.
ain't Bel Air. You know what I'm saying? We ain't drinking that shit. So yeah, no.
Ain't nobody drinking no Hulkamania lager.
Yeah, what I'm doing drinking some Hawk Lager. I wish I would drink a
Yeah.
Hawk Lager.
But
Let
yeah,
me tell you something, brother. The lager goes.
Yeah, that story, I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe
yeah.
I can't deny it, but yeah, I got him on the list for those reasons. My explanation is short for him. Recent years, it's come out that he's lied a lot. He used his power to, you know, get over on a lot of people in the business.
He ruined the NWO. He
Oh,
ruined the NWO. Why
yeah.
was Scott Norris in the NWO?
There was a lot of people that shouldn't have been in
Why
there.
was Scott Norton in the NWO? Yeah, man. Like he
There was a
ruined
lot
the
of people.
NWO. He ruined
Yeah.
WCW.
Mm-hmm. He did. He wasn't trying to do the job. He didn't want Booker T to be champion.
Nope.
So he messed up that Bash at the Beach, John.
He messed up the Shawn Michaels match for, you know, when he was supposed to be the heel and Michaels supposed to be the baby face, but Michael saved it by overselling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
and
that.
they were supposed to have 3 matches. And it was supposed to be he was gonna win the first one, and then Shawn Michaels was gonna win the second one, and then they was gonna have a rubber match. But Shawn Michaels found out that day that we're just doing the one match because Hogan got creative control and he uses it. So after that, that's when he decided to oversell. He was like, okay.
That was hilarious. If you go back and watch that now, man, that match is hilarious.
It is. All the flipping and tumbling that he was doing, it was extra.
Yeah. Was it ever?
That's what happened. He came face to face.
But what's his memorable match? Like maybe him and Ultimate Warrior. But even that match was terrible. Like the match itself.
Which one? The WrestleMania 6 match?
Which one was the I think
that was Halloween Havoc 98. That was horrible.
No, not the WCW one. I'm talking about the WWE one.
WrestleMania 6 match was all right. That was probably Warrior's best match.
No, you could go back and watch that match.
No, I'm saying that was boring. But you gotta remember Warriors matches were 2 minutes long. So that was the best match that Warrior had put on.
I got you.
And it's not when the bar set so low to say that was Warrior's best match doesn't make it like it was a 5-star match because it wasn't.
Yeah.
But that was it was better than a lot of people expected.
All right. So what's Hogan's 5-star match?
Hogan's 5-star match?
Yeah. Like if you say Shawn Michaels, you could say Shawn Michaels versus John Cena. You could say Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hitman Hart. Shawn Michaels versus Taker. Shawn Michaels versus Triple H. Yeah. You know, I'm pretty sure I'm leaving out a match or two. You know, Shawn had a nice one with Shelton Benjamin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That ending was crazy.
Yeah. But even like Ric Flair, you got Ric Flair and Macho Man. They put on matches. You know, Ric Flair with Shawn Michaels was a good match. I feel like Ric Flair and The Rock had a good match, but I might be wrong on that one.
I don't remember that one. I don't know. I don't think Hogan had a not here.
Yeah,
he might have something in Japan or something, but I don't remember him. Nah, he ain't had no 5-star matches.
What was the match with him and Randy Savage? Could that be considered a 5-star?
It was good, but everybody knows it was good because of Randy.
Yeah,
it wasn't him because Randy could have a good match with pretty much anybody.
Yeah,
he had a good match with Warrior.
Okay, and Hulk Hogan was the guy where I was saying that wrestlers that they milk the crowd, they just have you in the head. That's Hogan.
Yeah,
Hogan's matches is like so really boring. It's like they be really boring, man. Maybe the match with The Rock. Maybe the match with The Rock. But even that,
but that was it. That match was good, but it was more so the emotion and the fan reaction.
Yeah,
it wasn't really
the actual match.
It wasn't really Hogan's move set that really made the match like, oh, this is amazing and everything. But that was probably his closest with The Rock because of how it was. Like, saying the psychology of it about them having to switch in the middle. That part made that match close to a 5-star.
Yeah.
But actual like Shawn Michaels versus Taker at WrestleMania 25, it's not that. That was a 5-star match that Taker versus Shawn had at WrestleMania 25. And then they followed up with at the following year, and that match wasn't as good as the one before at 25, but I still would give it 5 stars. At WrestleMania 26 when Shawn Michaels retired. But compare Hogan's matches to those.
So how is he on a Mount Rushmore?
It's because of what he did. Think if you take Hogan out of the 80s, right? Who replaces him and creates the fanfare that he did?
Yeah, no one.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was his impact. He had
Barbarian,
it was
Hercules.
Yeah, nobody. Like, even though Randy Savage was very popular, Ultimate Warrior was very popular. I'm talking about when he was a face, though.
Yeah,
Warrior
could have did it if Warrior was better at wrestling.
Yeah, but Warrior didn't have. First of all, he didn't have a passion for wrestling.
Yeah,
because he had no longevity in wrestling. Mm-hmm. Like if you combine all his runs, what did he have? 4 years?
If that
wrestling combined, like.
Well, remember the first Warrior had 2 years, and then the second Warrior.
Oh my God! Don't start that. that rumor.
You know what I'm saying? So it was 2 Warriors. You know what I mean? 2 Warriors.
Oh my God! Don't.
You got the 80s Warrior, and then you got the 90s Warrior.
Oh, don't do that.
The second Warrior is living in Cuba right now. You know what I'm saying? He laying low.
Yeah, you are hilarious.
Rest in peace, Ultimate Warrior, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, rest in peace, man.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about Hogan. So we both got 2 left. So
all right. See, you threw a monkey wrench in this by saying we can't repeat the same folks. But I'll go with The Undertaker.
Dang.
I'll go with The Undertaker. Yeah.
Dang,
yeah. Cool. I mean, Taker's undeniable. His in-ring. He has some duds, but I don't know if I can attribute that to that being his fault or that just being the product of the gimmick. Like Giant Gonzalez.
Oh no, that was just Giant Gonzalez was garbage.
Yeah. Shit. Didn't he have one with Almost? No, he didn't fight Almost.
No. He was gone by then.
He fought another big ball. Oh no. What's my man name from India? Didn't he fight
Great
Khali?
Yeah. Great Khali. They brought him in as a monster, and then Taker just disposed of him. But yeah, those matches.
Yeah, he got some bum ass fights in his repertoire. But it's not his fault. It's not his fault. He got him on his jacket though.
Nah, that was them trying to. They thought they saw something in somebody, so it was like put him against Taker because they knew Taker could carry people. But
yeah,
if somebody ain't got no talent, they ain't got no talent.
They ain't got no talent. Can't teach talent.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Can't teach talent out here. But as far as the mic skills, his mic skills did get better. I mean, although he was kind of in a weird position too, because like having the gimmick, like sometimes I think a lot of times if like a wrestler stays with one gimmick, especially one like that where it's supernatural, it's hard to take that wrestler seriously for as long as people took Undertaker seriously. And I think that that's a byproduct of whether it was his idea, Vince's idea, or WWE's idea to make him the American badass.
Oh yeah, that was a smart
During the
move.
stint. Yeah, because now we're missing the Undertaker. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
But we're also getting another piece of who the man is, like behind the costume, kind of. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Then having him with the Brothers of Destruction, I think that was pretty good to carry, help him carry it into, like longer years. Because I would imagine, shit, I'm 6'5" and my knees hurt after I play basketball. So just imagine, like, having to pick up like 300-pound men, and like that, it takes a
yeah.
lot of wear and tear on your body. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm,
to partner him up with Kane, I thought that was dope. He obviously has some very classic storylines. He has one of the most infamous storylines with the whole Vince McMahon being found as the leader of the
oh,
yeah, like it
even
was
even
me the
yo,
whole time.
even he hated that because he got a
Yeah,
podcast too now,
yeah.
and it's called 6 Feet Under, and he said that he enjoyed the ministry thing until it became the corporate ministry. He said the corporate ministry destroyed it.
Well, I mean, like we already know what the corporate ministry is. We got Catholicism. We know what the corporate.
Facts.
No, I'm just I ain't saying that. I'm just It's a joke. It's a joke. Potting out here.
Don't be too sensitive.
Respect everyone's religion. But no, yeah, the corporate ministry was definitely that was definitely wax sauce. Like, yeah, I couldn't have my own daughter. Like, but
Yeah.
but other than that, again, we already talked about, his matches with Triple H, his matches with Shawn Michaels. Um, he was very integral in the Attitude Era, and then even after the Attitude Era, to like be able to put on with the likes of like the John Cena's and the Mark Henry's, like them type of cats, like further down in the 2000s, where he was still able to put on good quality matches and still be out there. Most memorable character ever, probably of a wrestler. I mean, if you could say Hulk Hogan, yeah, Hulk Hogan is number one. Just the yellow and red, which I'll take back some of my not putting him on the Mount Rushmore. He is who he is. But like the Undertaker is up there. You know what I'm saying? Like the black, purple, and gray. If you put them colors together, everyone's gonna know. That's the Undertaker. Like
Yeah.
from smaller, maybe I wouldn't say too smaller kids now, but I'm sure like they're like 10-year-olds that know the Undertaker, just like they're like 70-year-olds that know the Undertaker. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
so yeah, you gotta put him up there. You gotta put him up there. You gotta put the dead man up there.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. All right. So he said Taker. He definitely on my Mount Rushmore. But I'm gonna have to go to his WCW counterpart, which is Sting.
Ooh, okay.
This boy, tons of charisma, came in on fire, had hella great matches against Ric Flair, Lex Luger. When he converted to the Crow Sting, went against the whole NWO, created a year worth of storyline without saying a word,
Yeah.
without having a match. Like that was a great time in wrestling, and that was when it was the Monday Night Wars going on, Nitro versus Raw. He was like nonstop, just character work. I think he was good on the mic, even when he wasn't on the mic. It was like his face, his eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was like it was crazy. It was just everything. The face paint, the entrance.
Yeah.
You know what
He
I'm
got
saying?
some classics with Ric Flair. He got some classic matches too.
Yeah, like he had a lot of good matches, and he just retired this year.
Yeah, this year.
And he went out with a hell of a great match. Like he had his final run at AEW. his final run at AEW is what his WWE run should have been. Like he had some great. He was putting on some great matches to be in his 60s.
Yeah,
like
I know the fact that he was in his 60s, man.
Yeah,
and remember when Seth Rollins almost killed him?
Oh yeah, he had that the turnbuckle bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he came back from that. He was in his he was like, had to be in his like late 50s.
He was in his 50s at the time.
Yeah.
But
that's crazy, man. To think that these dudes is like grandpas now, man. Like that shit happened so fast.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I think in his final at the press conference after that match, he was talking. He was like, "I'm just thankful he still got all his." He said his original parts, so he don't got no metal shoulders, knees, or anything like that. Like he had for him to have a almost like 4-decade career, almost, and get through it without no knee replacements, hips, shoulder, and still being able to jump off balconies. In his 60s and stuff like that. That is a testament to his skill, his dedication, consistency, and just everything. Like even his time in TNA, he was he was like main event mafia.
Main event mafia,
You know what I'm saying? then he had a run where he was Joker Sting. Like that was he just was acting crazy. But
did they ever do anything with him and Matt and Matt Hardy? When Matt, what was Matt's name?
Broken Matt Hardy.
Broken Matt Hardy. Did they ever do anything in TNA?
No, I think when Matt was doing the broken thing, I don't think Sting was there no more.
Okay.
I know they were there, but I think when he started doing like the broken thing, I think either he was about to leave or he had left already. So they never really had a thing, but his entire run was good. The only part that wasn't good was when he finally decided to come to WWE, and instead of them doing the match everybody wanted to see, Sting versus Taker, which they could have did in that first year when he got there, they did Sting versus Triple H for whatever reason.
Which I didn't get. I mean, although like I see how they tied it together, but even that whole match was just like weird because it's like, all right, we got Triple H and Sting. They supposedly hate each other for whatever reason. They never interacted, but they hate each other. Maybe because they represented their companies during the peak of the war against WWE and WCW. Cool. So now you got them battling. Now here comes NWO, and then they got chains, and then here come DX, and then they got like chains and weapons. So now we at the part where we hitting each other with weapons and bats and chairs, and then after the match we all just shake hands and go in the back. Like you just tried to kill me, dog. Like you just tried to kill me with a motorcycle chain.
Yeah.
You think I'm a hug you and go in the back afterwards? Like it didn't make sense.
Yeah,
a lot of WrestleMania didn't make sense too. Though. That's a whole other story.
Yeah, and then they had Triple H win, which Triple H shouldn't have won that match.
No.
You bring Sting in to take a L to Triple H? I'm like,
but that's if you supposed to beat Triple H and you are in a minority in one way, shape, or form, just know you're going to lose the Triple H. Anyone that came from WCW was going to lose the Triple H. Booker T. Washington should have. I said Booker T. Washington. I felt like he was Booker T. Washington during the Triple H and Booker T. Feud.
But, wait. Pause. Can we talk about the sprinkle of racism in that feud too?
Guys like you just aren't supposed to be here.
Yeah.
But that's what made like when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, Booker's going to win. Like this is classic, Hill babyface. You got the Hill, doing the dog whistle. This is when he was I'm a blue blood, I'm from Connecticut, New England, like I'm elite, and you just don't belong here. And it's like we're gonna play with it. Like, do you not belong here because of you, or do you not belong here because you one of the TNT guys? You know what I'm saying? You the WCW guy. That's why you don't belong here. But we're gonna keep you thinking. You know. Now
and
you got to think about it.
I swore he was gonna win.
I knew he was going to win, and then they took it from him. But you know what else? What else? I felt like I was mad. I was pissed. And this is just a side note. I'll save it. I'll save it. I'm gonna say that because I'm gonna say that. But
okay.
But yeah, I was. It was another one of those subtle racist moments in WWE. You know,
it's been plenty.
Vince saying Vince using the N-word.
Oh yeah. I was like, when I heard that, I was like, I'm like, it's no way. I'm like, it's no way they were sitting in a meeting and said this was okay.
Yeah, he was out of pocket. And they let it go on TV too. It was like, all right, okay.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, back to this. Yeah, Sting definitely belongs on my personal Rushmore. Mount Rushmore, Sting is my all-time favorite wrestler.
Okay,
followed by Taker. Those are my top two.
You look like you was one of them boys in middle school doing the Stinger splash to people in the corners of the corners of the wall.
I definitely did. I definitely did the Stinger splash. Used to do the Scorpion Death Lock and everything.
We did the howl too. Like,
yeah. I'm like, when he first turns to the Crow Sting, 97.
Yeah. Don't tell me you had the trench coat.
No. But I painted my face. I painted my face like him for Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, 97. We was in high school in 97.
Yep.
Yep.
I ain't go trick or treating. I ain't go trick or treating or nothing. No. I ain't go trick or treating.
You did. I saw you.
I ain't go trick or treating, but I was in the house. I remember because we was in the house and we was watching. We always did movie marathons for Halloween, but around my way, we ain't going trick or treating. But I painted my face.
So you was like when you was in the bathroom putting the face paint on, did you had the lights off? You know what I'm saying? To get in the Sting mode?
Nah. But after that, I was like, I felt like I was Sting. I was like, yeah. And I was trying not to say nothing, but then my mom would say something to me. And I had to speak.
Yeah. Oh, you ruined the whole thing.
Yeah, I was like, damn, I'm trying to do my character work. Couldn't.
I'm trying to what did I used I know what I used to do. I used to when I would walk home from school, I would have like a wrestler theme song in my head. And I would come home and I would smack the bushes and the gates like they was like hands.
Yeah,
I am no real American.
Yo, I ain't gonna hold you. I did that before too. Like if you walk down and it's bushes on both sides, I'll be like,
smack both the bushes. That got a feeling, man. That's yeah. I feel like every, especially every boy grew up watching wrestling, had to do that at least once in their life, man.
For sure. All right, go ahead. It's time for your one.
So this is my number one. So number one on my list, Mount Rushmore. We had Shawn Michaels. What else I say? Undertaker, The Rock, Ric Flair. Number one, who has feuded with, I believe, all four of them in one capacity or the next. John Cena.
I knew you was gonna say that. I give you that.
Yo, I hated John Cena. I hated everything John Cena represented when I, coming up watching wrestling. Like like the master of thugonomics. Well, like first with the ruthless aggression, where he came in, him and Randy Orton came in on the ruthless aggression era. I was like, all right, like the Bull was doing what was it, the body what's that called? That move where you throw yourself off the rope and
Oh,
throw
the
your body at someone?
crossbody. Yeah.
Crossbody, doing the crossbody, all that bullshit. Then he got the spinning chain, the master of thugonomics. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, they this goofball. But when he came back, that Royal Rumble after his injury, where it was like I think he was supposed to be beefing with Triple H. Triple H,
Yeah.
Triple H is an honorable mention too. Well, we can get in that. Triple H is definitely honorable mention on the Mount Rushmore. I mean, the dude is running WWE right now.
Yeah.
Like, what I'm saying? Like he is the Vince McMahon of WWE right now. Whether you want to say it's the other Khan ball, you know what I'm saying? What's the
Nick Khan?
Nick Khan. If you want to say Nick Khan, cool. But Triple H has been he made NXT, pop.
Mm-hmm.
He put his mans on. Sean is down there helping them out, you know what I'm saying, for their little farm system. Running WWE for the past couple of years, and all this from like being like the bad guy. Like he was Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash's like bad guy. Like he was their man's, but he wasn't like there wasn't like we're gonna build the company around him. And even when they had like they never really built the company around Triple H. But all he did was just be steady.
Yeah.
And consistent. Like it was never like Triple H is the guy. It was always
Yeah.
either Rock, it was Steve Austin, it was John Cena, Shawn Michaels. It was always somebody else that was the guy. And even when he was in his with the corporate stuff, with him and Stephanie, it was Seth Rollins, it was Roman Reigns, it was Daniel Bryan. It was never like Triple H is the guy. Triple H was always the guy that the guy had to go to, like the guy's number one adversary, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he played that role well. And from the wrestling standpoint, from on the mic standpoint, to even just the business, like he is the business.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's I would if I Hulk Hogan, Triple H. I mean, yeah, the yellow and red, but the contributions that Triple H has brought the wrestling, not even just from like the 90s to the thousands, but just like now in the current state of WWE, as hot as it is right now, with competition, not top competition, but AEW is still competition. TNA is still competition. Ring of Honor is still competition. Especially, when you talk about this internet era where internet is just as important as TV views. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't. It's hard to not put him on a Mount Rushmore when you think about all those qualities and how long he's been doing it. But for John Cena, that to me that has been why, or that is why I put him kind of on that Mount Rushmore. Maybe even he might be 3. He might be 3. Like if I had to think about, and I hope I ain't step on your number one. I hope I ain't step on your number one. Did I step
No.
I just I think about that. My bad if I mean step on anything.
No,
But
you good.
but damn, I'll be losing my train of thought, man. Triple H. Okay, all right. I'll go to if I think about it, I'll bring it back up. But going to John Cena. So with John Cena, to me, it was the longevity to be to be at the top of the game in WWE and remain at the top to the point where when he came out at Money in the Bank, spoilers for anyone who didn't see it, and he, sent his messages about his plans for the next year wrestling. It still means something to wrestling fans. Like it's kind of the same aura. John Cena has that same aura as like the Hulk Hogan when Hulk Hogan was like past his prime. But the difference is like John Cena's past his prime is still quality.
Yeah, exactly.
It may not be, as often as it was, but it's still quality. He's not going to go in there and give you bullshit. He can still make his way through a match. And even, when we think of WWE toward after in the ruthless aggression era, where there were times that Randy Orton was out because he was hurt, or when Brock Lesnar went to UFC, and he was kind of in and out. Shawn Michaels was on his last leg, so now we had to, needed to have these new stars. It was John Cena, and people would say he had the 5 moves of doom. But if you really look at his matches, he definitely had way more than 5 moves of doom. Like he was a really, really good sound, technical wrestler. Like he would reverse. Like I remember that there would be matches where he would go up against like a Chris Jericho or someone, and he would show, I'm just as technical of a wrestler as a Chris Jericho can be, But obviously he had to. He's spearheading the company. I would have loved to see what a heel John Cena looked like. I think maybe the closest we got was his beef with Bray Wyatt, but he wasn't really heel. It was just Bray was just more favorable to the audience at that, at that point. Maybe his work with CM Punk, where you could, or his work with The Rock, where you can kind of look at those and say he kind of had a heel aura about him, but that was more because of the crowd, the crowd response to him versus those two, not necessarily him, working as the heel. Again, I mean, he has like bangers, you name him, he's fought with him. You know what I mean? He's got 5-star matches with the Chris Jerichos, with Shawn Michaels. He has matches with Triple H, the list goes on. So you gotta put him there, and the goofy hat with the jorts and the colorful t-shirts. Like, say what you want, but that he moves merchandise, and people know who he is. And he's had a low key, pretty cool acting career too. Like in the little roles he has, he does give like his comedic touches. He has a good comedic touch. He can act crazy. He can get crazy if you want crazy. You gotta give him some credit in that front too. So yeah, John Cena, man. John Cena wraps up my Mount Rushmore. The champ is here.
I can see why he's on the list, and I respect it because he did a lot. His longevity, championship reigns, mic work was crazy.
Yeah,
character work. I mean, he seemed like he was just being himself.
Yeah,
really. So can't go wrong there. But yeah, I respect that. Oh,
would you put him on your Mount Rushmore?
He's like right there. Like he's not on there, but he's right there.
Okay.
Like, because Hulk Hogan isn't on mine either. But speaking on this pod and just based on our criteria, that's why I put Hulk Hogan in the running. But my personal Hulk Hogan's not there either.
I want to hear your 5. And after we finish the convo, I want to hear your 5 with I want to hear your 5.
All right, so for this one, it was tough because I'm trying to narrow it down just based on the criteria that we set.
Yeah.
And it was between two wrestlers.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to have to go with Chris Jericho.
Not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
And the other wrestler that was in the running, Kurt Angle. But I gave the edge to Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Number 1, because of longevity. Number 2 is because his character work is crazy and he keeps developing new characters.
Keeps reinventing itself.
Yeah, that's the word. I couldn't find it. Thank you. He keeps reinventing himself. Even his latest thing with AEW, the Learning Tree. He's funny as hi guys, and he just walk around giving people advice. And because the internet has told him that he gets too much TV time, he always mentions that in his promos now. Like, me, I need a lot of TV time, but he's smiling the whole time. Like, it's hilarious to me. And
what was the name of his champagne when he did the champagne in AEW?
Les Champions.
Les Champions.
Yeah. That was funny. When he first came, when he was in WCW, he ran a list because he wanted to be. I think Dean Malenko was the man of 1,000 holds, so he called himself the man of 1,004 holds. So he had this big long printout of all these holds, and he went through the list. And before it went to commercial, he was reading it. It came back from commercial. He was still reading the list.
Reading it, yeah.
And he was like armbar. Like he was literally naming every move. Like that was hilarious.
Was that when he had the manager bull or the mascot? What was his name?
Oh yeah, the bull, the belly shirt.
What was his name? I want to say Gil, but
was it Rufus or something?
Rufus. It was Rufus.
Yeah,
it was Rufus. Yeah,
it was hilarious. He was doing some great character work in WCW. He just didn't get to shine because NWO, Goldberg,
and
everybody
he got the shine to me. Like he was one of the. Well, I used to like odd kind of people in WCW. Like when when NWO became NWO. Like I liked Hall and Nash. I was like, yo, that's dope. Hall and Nash in WCW. And then when Hulk Hogan became part of NWO, I was like rooting for it because like it's Hill Hogan. Like but then they got corny because like, wait, Hill Hogan is the same as regular Hogan. Let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah, he was talking the same. It was
it's like, all right, dude. Like you just but now you just smack people with the weight belt. Like, but like I used to like the off-brand characters. So I was a Canyon fan. Who better than Canyon? DDP, of course, Dom Dollar Page when they was called the what they called the triage. What did they call them? It was Cannon, Bam Bigelow.
Triad.
Was it the Triad? No,
it was the New Jersey Triad or something like that.
Was that called the New Jersey Triad?
I think it was something like that.
That one up. I'm gonna have to look that one up. But yeah, when they did that, I like that. So Chris Jericho was like that guy to me because like first he was like they was getting him in the cruiserweights. So like he was like always going at it with the with the Hoovy 2 Guerreras and the Rey Mysterios and folks like that. And I was like, yo, Bull is like super talented. Then when you start hearing him talk, he was just hilarious. Like so hilarious. And adding Rufus when he was beefing with Goldberg, it's like you knew he was going to lose to Goldberg, but he was like one of the first guys that made you really care about Goldberg. Like before that, it was like squash match after squash match. But then Chris Jericho now made you want to see the buildup of him versus Goldberg, even if you already knew what the outcome was going to be. And then even when he came to WWE, man, like with the Rock and Stone Cold on top, he was still able to come in and his mic skills, he was going back, he was going at it with two of the better guys that, ever got on the mic.
Yeah, he beat both of them in the same night.
Yeah.
But see, in WCW though, when I say that he didn't get a shine, is because I feel like there was some people on the roster that deserve to actually get a shot at the main event slot, and he was kind of shut out. I think he got to a point there where he was beyond the cruiserweight title. He was beyond the TV title. Like they should have kept developing him, but they didn't. And then that's when you saw the Millennium Clocks playing on WWE, and then he had one of the greatest. He had one of the greatest debuts ever.
Yeah, he did.
But his mic work, when he used to insult Stephanie.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. that time when she was in the ring with Rhino, and he was like, I'm going to deal with that filthy, disgusting beast, and you too, Rhino. And I was like,
Yeah.
yo, he would just say stuff. It was just hilarious, man. Then in the ring, he was great in the ring.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he was like the total package.
And even like the little things, like now when you go back and you like hear people talk about old matches, or they like the whole like botchamania craze where they go back to show you where wrestlers fucked up in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see like stuff where it might have went bad for someone, but Chris Jericho like moves the ladder out the way while he's like unconscious. He's like just using his leg to move the ladder out of the way, or put someone in the right space. Or if he saw, remember he was beefing with a ref in the ring because his opponent, I forget who his opponent was at the time, but his opponent was concussed. And he was trying to tell the ref, like, yo, he's concussed, but he had to stay in character and keep it going because the cameras was rolling. So even the way he was talking to the ref, like, yo, check on him, you idiot. Like, feeling like Chris Jericho character. It's like, like he's a consummate professional when it comes to the ring, like his technique. Shit, he might be on my top 5. He might be on my Mount Rushmore, actually, when I think about it. He might be.
Yeah, he I can't really say nothing bad about him. And yeah, I remember those instances where he would do little stuff like that. And like, I'm like, yo, that's his awareness is crazy. Like, that he was aware enough to do that, but still stay injured down, but not really give too much, but still be able to save somebody. Yeah, it's like, man, he had some great feuds. His feud with Shawn Michaels was awesome.
Yes.
His
feud with CM Punk with the whole alcoholism, that whole build up, that was pretty good.
Yeah. That look, who else can make a list over? Like, so you're making the list.
You dare get me on my bad side? Well, you know what? Cameraman doesn't know how to get good angles. You just made the list.
Yeah, you got to do the pen like,
yeah. You stupid idiot.
Yeah. And then, even with that, he was like, I think he said something. He was like, we did it. We did what? It. Like, it was little stuff like that. And he got it over. He could get anything over because it was hilarious. Like,
I remember when he got over without saying a word. When he returned back to WWE, I think.
When he was like he was more serious, and he was speak real low and slow.
Yeah. Chris Jericho is definitely on there. He's definitely on there, and he did it and well, still doing it now. So from the 90s to the 2024, he's been going, and he's at a high level. I mean, even now, he may have lost a step. He may not look as 50. He look like exactly like an in shape 50-year-old man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he still can go at it. He still can go toe to toe with these young cats, man. So definitely respect to Chris. Oh, before I forget, remember I was saying I was going to bring up the other sprinkle of racism.
Yeah.
Mark Henry versus John Cena. When Mark Henry was at the height of the Hall of Pain, where he was just running through everybody on SmackDown, and they put him up against John Cena and had him tapped to the STF.
Yeah,
not like I could see if you had him lose to like the way they built Mark Henry up. Mark Henry was a monster, a well-deserved monster, and he deserved to win the title. You don't have him get beat by like 3 attitude adjustments. You know what I'm saying? You got him tapping out to the STF.
Yo, he brought out the salmon coat, pretended to retire.
He had everyone believe. He had me believe.
Yeah. He did the World's Strongest Slam on Cena. Like, I got a lot more left in the tank. And you don't build off of that and make him the champ.
Yeah, that broke my heart, man. Like I think that I accept that there are certain things like wrestling. There's racism in wrestling. Like I accept that. Like, there's certain guys, like, does the Rock is the Rock if he is 100% black, or is the Rock because he's half Samoan? Like, Ron, my man Ron, shit, back from the 80s,
Ron Simmons.
Ron Simmons. He should have won a WWE title. You know what I'm saying? The Godfather should have won, like, gold. You can just go down the list. Shelton Benjamin's like talent level. We talked about the Hurt Locker, where they kind of did it with Bobby Lashley, but like, it's like so many, like, growing up, where it was Booker T, where it was just like, like, people that reminded me of me, and I'm like, man, they could be a champion, and not because they look like me, but because, like, yo,
they're good.
Yeah, like, do you see Mark Henry, like, on the mic? Like I believe he'll take me to the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you see his in-ring skills? Like, he is a beast. Like, you put the strap on a beast. You just, like,
the one. I'm sorry, I just want to jump in. The one thing they did right with Mark Henry was when he first started the Hall of Fame before that retirement, John. They had him beat Randy Orton clean for the World Heavyweight title, the big gold belt. So I feel like they did that part right. But I think after that fake retirement thing, they should have did the right thing again. They should have had him beat John Cena clean.
And I think a part of that is, I don't think that WWE holds or held the heavyweight title, because that heavyweight title was the WCW title.
Yeah.
So it wasn't held, it was held in regard, but it wasn't held in as high regard as the WWE World title. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like Booker T was the heavyweight champion. Mark Henry was the heavyweight champion. I think that your man said, the interview after him winning too. Y'all all doubters, y'all all haters, y'all don't deserve this. Who was that, Mill? Was that are you referring to Mark Henry?
Oh, damn, I didn't even know Mill was there. I'm gonna bring him in. Yo, what's up, Mill? Yo, your mic muted.
Yeah, my bad.
Go ahead. Say it again.
Yeah, that was right after he won. And he was like, y'all don't deserve to sell it. Y'all don't deserve this.
Yeah.
Y'all howders, y'all doubters, y'all haters.
He had it eaten out of his palm. Like, he had the heat. And that's the type of heat.
I think that's when he officially introduced everybody to the Hall of Fame.
The Hall of Fame, yep.
Yeah.
And
that was a hell of a run.
It was, but they should have put the WWE title on him. Like, even the cast they did it, like, you put it on Kofi, you put it on Big E.
But then what's crazy about my bad. When Brock destroyed him, that was crazy too.
Yeah, he did the same thing to Big E.
Yeah,
the same thing to Big E. So it's like I expect that there's just going to be a certain amount of just like, it's like racism in my wrestling. It just is. But when you do it to a point where it's just like blatant in my face, like I get like certain people, like again, we was talking earlier about Carmelo Hayes. Like, to me, Carmelo Hayes is the Black Dolph Ziggler. Like, I maybe
that's a good point.
He's young. He might look like something when he's 5 years from now, where I'm like, I can't see him wearing anything more than maybe like in a Continental Championship, if that. Like, to me, he's just gonna be like that mid Carter that if you need a Money in the Bank, or you need an extra guy in a what's the Elimination Chamber? You throw Carmelo Hayes in there, he gonna sell for you. He'll take a big bump. He'll do a big spot. Yeah. But ultimately, he's not gonna win. So it's like, I'm not disappointed if you don't give him a push to the top. I get it. There isn't something that isn't there that differentiates him from like a Drew McIntyre that looks like someone who should have a title. You know what I'm saying? But
I
Mark
feel
Henry
like
was a fucking
I feel like
monster.
I feel like what Carmelo Hayes, what messes him up is the height and because he's black. You know they have a thing about dudes that's like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah. Well, I
And
mean, like you gotta look. You do gotta look the part. Like
you
when
do
you
gotta
think
look the
about
part. But me personally, he reminds me. He's like he has the charisma. He has the mic skills. He has the in-ring performance. I hate his move. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I hate his
yeah,
move. His finisher, I hate it. But yeah, I agree with you. Mid card is probably he's gonna be like Shelton Benjamin. He's gonna
yeah,
win every mid card, every tag team title that you could possibly think of. But then we can also say Austin Theory the same way.
yeah,
Austin
exactly,
Theory,
exactly.
they tried to push him to the moon, and it ain't working.
Yeah, because he
It
just
ain't
he
working.
just doesn't have that thing. Now
No,
again, he's young. It may have, like to me. I think I put Brian Breaker in the same category.
I
Like
don't.
I don't see Brian Breaker. I don't see Brian Breaker winning a title, a
I do.
WWE Championship title.
I do.
No,
I do.
All right,
Now,
so
no.
I don't think he'll win like a Royal Rumble, but I think I think he will. Now, I don't think he'll win like the undisputed title. I think he'll win the secondary title. I like to call it the secondary title because that's what it is. He'll win the WWE World Heavyweight title.
I don't know because I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't
He
see it in him.
only reason
I
why
look
I see it, only reason why I see it is because he has the tweener, the heel like persona. It's like Sheamus. Ain't nobody believe Sheamus is going to win the title.
yeah, but you can believe that Sheamus looks like a champion.
He didn't to me.
Not this iteration of Sheamus where he just came back from
The
injury.
past the past iterations of Sheamus, like when he came out in NXT and all that stuff, ain't nobody believe that he was going to win that championship until he won it.
I believe
That's
Sheamus over Brian. I don't believe I believe like Brian to me is like a Timu Ryback. Like he like a Timu Ryback. And I'm not even like remember like Ryback when Ryback was like Ryback. Like he was like he looked like one of them boys. Like yo, how you gonna stop this?
Not
But
the Timu
Brian
Ryback.
like what 6', 6'1", something like that.
He like
I mean,
six,
he's
yeah,
athletic
6', 6'1", yeah.
and he fast, he athletic. But I mean, like when I look at him, I don't see monster. Like I don't see like Brock. Like I look like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
The
no.
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah,
Seth
no.
Rollins. Like even though Seth Rollins isn't as tall as these go, well, no, Seth is like 6'3",
But
he's skinny.
but Seth has everything. You could get
Yeah.
behind Seth. You can build Seth. Seth could be the number one guy. You can see him being the number one guy.
Can Brian be the number one guy?
No. Now, I'm not saying that.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that.
yeah.
That's why I said I put him in the Sheamus category because you can't see Sheamus as the number one guy.
Not right now, but
I don't not ever.
Years ago.
Not ever. Like he couldn't. Even when he wasn't even the number one guy in the All Americans group, the non-Americans group that they tried to make, he wasn't the number one guy in that one.
Who was the number one guy in that group?
That was
It was Alberto Del Rio.
Alberto Del Rio and all them.
No, but Del Rio wasn't the number one. Sheamus was the number one in that group.
He was the number one, but it didn't seem like it. It seemed more like
it did.
It didn't seem like it to me.
It was Drew McIntyre,
Rusev,
Del Rio.
I would have put Rusev more as the number one guy in that group than anybody, because Rusev was tearing through everybody. He was beating everybody, like how back in the day when non-Americans was beating Americans up. That's what Rusev was doing. Yeah. He was punishing people. He even beat Mark Henry.
Yeah, they did Rusev dirty, but I kind of understand. I kind of understand. Like so, Rusev, I feel like was like a product of where I think Brian Breaker is, where you got fan support, and it's like the fan support is a support because now we want you to get there. But once you get there, I don't think that there's enough steam to keep fan support. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
Like if you hold in the major title, you got to be able to keep fan support whether you're winning or whether you're losing. It's the journey that makes fans want to get behind these people. So I think like if a Braun Breaker, there's nothing to me that says if Braun Breaker has the belt, if they happen to put it on him, because there's just like so much support, like LA Knight. I kind of put LA Knight in that same kind of category where
But LA Knight's mic skills would take him over.
no, but it's the journey. LA Knight with the strap. LA Knight with the strap, he's not getting the same kind of cheers as LA Knight without the strap. The cheers are, hey, y'all are doing this guy dirty.
Yeah.
We think he should be there. But once he gets there, it's like, all right,
Yeah.
now what? I don't think he has enough to pull him over as like that high card type of guy. And that's my thing. So like when I say the racism piece with it, I can look at someone that's African American and say, all right, he ain't got, champion written over him. But if you're giving me somebody that do got champion written over them, like a Booker T, like a Mark Henry at the time, they did it with Bobby Lashley, where you had to, even, Big E. It was dope to see them do that with Big E, where, he had that look, So
Right.
I'm glad that now that you're kind of seeing it now where they are giving those opportunities to kind of run with it. But
It was
wasn't like
crazy
that.
because they wasn't going to give it to Kofi at the time. Kofi was the backup plan.
Yeah, Kofi shouldn't have won the championship.
No, I agree. I agree. He should have.
Kofi shouldn't have won the championship. The story was beautiful. Like the story was beautiful. The lead up was beautiful. It made you want to
I felt like he should have been like a placeholder champion. Then that was about it.
No,
Which
I
he
think
kind of was.
I think the issue was just the journey there was good, but the payoff once he was champion was horrible.
Yeah,
like he didn't have any meaningful feuds.
No,
or something that keep you interested.
And they tried. And the thing is, they tried.
They didn't really try. Like
he tried to feud with the what was it? Who's the champion at the time on the other side?
I don't even remember.
Because it was Kofi and him were arguing over it. They was in the ring arguing.
And I don't remember them even putting. I think they fed him to Brock right after he won.
No, he had
it for a couple months, but it was like
who was he? It wasn't Seth. It wasn't Seth, was it? Him and Seth had like a thing.
I don't know what it was, but I know that it was like Vince was like, yeah, let's get on this woke thing.
Yeah.
And let's do Kofi Mania. Yeah. And this and that. I don't mind him being champion, but don't do it because you feel obligated, like you doing just because you have to, like you got to check a box off. Like
I felt like
make it meaningful.
Well, I don't think it was that. I think it was more so like they put him in there because they needed a replacement, and they didn't think it was going to take off like it did, and then it did. The whole Kofi Mania thing, like he got the crowd, he got the sales, everything with them. They was already doing well with the New Day sales, and I just think with the whole, they put a good story. They put a good story behind it, and I think they just didn't think. I don't think they thought it was going to do as well as they did, and they had to give him the strap because of that.
Yeah, but like, okay, if you can do a good story leading up to it, right? Like now, I think if Kofi Mania was to happen now, because the way Triple H planned stuff out, like 6 months to a year in advance, his title reign would have been more meaningful than the journey.
Okay,
when it happened, his journey was way more meaningful than the title reign, because if his title reign was really meaningful and was meant to be something that it wasn't,
right?
It was like, why end it abruptly by having Brock beating, like,
because it was getting stale.
Savagely. It was getting stale. Exactly. That's because they didn't create a storyline that was you can invest in. It was just like he's champion, and then like after that night, maybe like the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, we were still celebrating. But then after that, you started saying like they really don't give a damn about this bull. Like they just put the title.
So wait a minute. So here's my
that was the SmackDown title.
So here's my question: how do y'all feel about Damian Priest's reign? Because I'm gonna tell you, I wanted him to lose last night.
Yeah, no, like Damian Priest.
I felt like they dropped the ball badly on that last night.
No, the reason
they didn't. No, they didn't.
No, that match last night was just to set up the CM Punk.
Yeah, so
see,
you don't like all right. So right now, you can't expect Damian Priest is one of those placeholders where he does look the part. He does look the part.
Sure.
His mic skills are improving. His mic skills are improving when he's out there talking to people, telling them about themselves and why he needs to be the champion. That goes over. Some of the stuff that he does in the back with Judgment Day is a little hacky. It's a little goofy for him to be the champion. And why is Dom talking to Liv? Like that stuff is kind of goofy.
Well, I feel like they are desperately needing Rhea back.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, Dom is holding it.
Yeah. I think the Dom and Liv thing.
It's just holding it over. It's just holding it over until Rhea comes back to me.
Yeah, but it's adding to that storyline.
Because they botched the pinfall last night when Drew was supposed to come out.
That was bad.
His music, somebody whoever was supposed to play the music didn't play the music.
Yeah, they didn't play the music. They botched
but he still should have kicked out. Like
he still should have kicked out. Yeah. And then
he was pissed at that. He knew he should have kicked out. That's why at the end he was like pissed. He missed his mark on that.
Yeah, but I think what was supposed to happen was when Drew's music hit, I think the referee was supposed to go like 2 and then go right and then move, so he had to kick out. But because the cue didn't hit right, it makes him look bad.
It made everything look bad.
Yeah.
And then I would like to hear somebody from WWE talk about that. Like it's okay to start talking about botches now. And can we stop dogpiling on Jade Cargill for her botches? Because like in the past couple of pay-per-views, I done seen some veterans botch some moves in the past couple of pay-per-views. So
first of all, and I love her to death.
Following this young lady,
I love her to death, but Nia Jax has had some bad ones.
Yeah,
but
everyone
since Nia Jax has been back. Side note, this is her best run.
Oh, for sure,
it is.
She has done some great work, and even Jade Cargill, she has improved so much since AEW.
Right.
Yeah.
That one. People, the thing is,
I think she's learning a lot from Bianca too.
Yeah, but
by being next to her,
they also took like 4 months to train her before she even made her TV debut, which has made a difference. And she's done a great job. And people, these keyboard warriors online, they've been waiting for her to mess up.
Yes.
So now she messed up that slip when she tried to do the plunger, and they even reported that the ropes were slippery.
Well, the ropes, a lot of people was messing up that night. I think Rey Mysterio
Brian Breaker slipped that night.
Yeah, it was a lot of people that slipped that night on the ropes.
Damian Priest foot got stuck.
Yeah.
He slipped.
Them ropes was crazy. I think that was a crew mix up for me.
Yeah.
The only one that I do hold against her, was her first paper.
Because women, AJ slipped too, and AJ don't slip on the ropes.
Oh yeah.
But that first tag team match where she was just lost against Damage Control.
Yeah,
that was the one that I hold against it. But other than that, it's like you expect that. The problem is if you don't have that much in-ring experience, again, when we spoke about the Rock and Hogan, how you just switched from heel to face and face to heel in the matter of the match, like that's a savvy that comes with being around the sport for a minute and having experience. Like you can't expect someone like really, if anything, the other what's my homie name? I would say Asuka. What's her name? Asuka. Asuka. Yeah, I would think Asuka would be able to kind of come in and kind of improvise and get the match moving because she has a little more experience under her belt. But like other than that, like shit, accidents happen, man. Like last night, Sami Zayn almost took an L twice and Braun Breaker caught him. Like, like people make mistakes.
Sabu moonsault, he messed that up.
Yeah. That was yep. And he messed up another one. It was another flip that he tried to do on the outside, and Braun had to catch him and put him in like like he's like the power bomb.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
But like these things happen, man. Like they happen, and like at the end of the day, there's but a few, like especially like women wrestlers. I know we're all over the place. Like even when you think about like women wrestlers, most of the women wrestlers have like they look little, they look tiny. There's but a few, like Ronda Rousey looked different. Charlotte Flair looked different. Bianca Belair looked different. And when Jade Cargill is in like the ring with them, she looks even more different than they look. And they are different. You know what I mean? Like they are different. So like she got the physique, she got that stature. Let the girl build, man. Like let her build.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why
we already know she turning heel soon.
But I don't even want like to me, don't even turn heel. Like if you want to,
honestly, I feel like Bianca should turn heel. To be honest,
no, I don't turn either of them heel. Like make them the Legion of the Doom. WWE has more.
I do like it.
WWE has more than enough talent on the women's division where you can literally bring an intercontinental belt in. Like you really you got to bring something more because the talent on the women's side is great. That Money in the Bank match they just had, that shit was a banger. That was a banger that the women put on. Like they got the talent, but you got to now make the people want to buy into it. So now if you put a Jade Cargill up against Bianca Belair within a year, like they didn't even build enough sweat equity to even make it make sense for them to have a beef within the year. They just became a team. Let them be a team for at least a year. Let them dominate the tag team for a year.
I thought them taking the belts off of them was real premature, honestly.
Well, did. It was a feel good moment because they was in their home country. And
Here, my man brain goes either one or two places. Either they losing faith in Jade Cargill, or somebody may be pregnant. Because
they is talking about something. They is talking about something with Bianca Belair, but I don't know, man.
Oh wait, hold up. Bianca Belair hasn't competed since then, right?
Yeah, she hasn't. And they've been saying they've been having some news to present, and they haven't said anything yet. So,
or maybe somebody injured. Maybe Bianca's injured.
Maybe,
but yeah, maybe. But it's something. I don't. If they took the strap off of her because of the couple of mistakes she's made, I think that's.
I thought they.
They beat Damage Control to get the titles, right?
They did.
Yeah.
They but they took the titles off of Damage Control because Asuka was injured.
Right.
So
yeah,
they were.
Asuka came back though because Asuka.
She's still out.
No, she was wrestling injured.
She was wrestling injured,
but she got surgery now. Yeah,
so out now. She got a whole knee. She had knee surgery.
But now to me, even if that's the case, when you look at Bianca and Jade, like when you talk about character development and team development, where in the WWE they just stick people together and then expect them to just like gel, like it works. The Bianca and Jade works. I said it before, if you get them a manager so that they don't have to do all the talking, they ain't gotta be yes, girl, yeah, girl. Like, no, have someone talk with them. Like, these are two of the most dominant women in our sport, and they're going to run Ranshot through the tag team division. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, after maybe a year of that, then let them have a banger. But don't just rush it. Just make it corny.
I think I'm gonna keep it real with you. I think they rushing it, to be honest. I feel like they going. I feel like one of them going to turn heel on the other because they started to plant seeds, kind of like with, Jade Cargill wanting to focus on the tag team and Bianca wanting to focus on. I think at the time it was the Money in the Bank thing, and I think she kept like brushing her off. So I feel like they're gonna try to push it real fast.
I don't think they're gonna have a match this year. I think
not this year. I think it's.
I think they wait until like Mania next year.
Yeah, what 2026 Mania
No,
or 2025 Mania?
2025.
Well, you
Because
know,
I
John
think-
Cena just made that joint, so it's gonna be all about John
No, but
Cena.
that's
So I don't think
that's no WrestleMania, not his retirement match. He wrestled
It's
beyond
not.
that, but that's his final WrestleMania. But he
Right,
wrestled
right.
beyond that.
Okay.
But I think they're gonna only reason I say WrestleMania is because the rest of this year, I think they're gonna keep building them up as a tag team. Jay's gonna keep learning because
Right.
being in a tag team, you can learn a little more than just how AEW was just sending her out there by herself, and she was having these quick squash matches and stuff like that. Her, you could see that her in ring skill level was going up. Like even though she had that botch, but you can see it. She already got the charisma.
Yeah, she
You know what I'm saying? She got the confidence.
She got the damn look, pat dog.
Yeah,
like I want to know what her workout regimen is. I want to do her workout regimen. Like,
yeah, because it's crazy. But
yeah, no, her physique is out of this world. Like she is built different.
Yeah, facts. But because
she make Bianca look small, and
Bianca
is
not
built
small.
different.
Yeah, but she gonna keep getting these laps in with the tag team, keep learning, keep building, and then I think that like what you were saying about them having like this monster run. I think they're gonna have a monster run, and then something's gonna happen, and then that's when the break is gonna happen.
I'm gonna tap out. I gotta go, but I just wanted to chime in for you because I know you invited me to jump in.
All right, no doubt, man. I appreciate you coming
All
on.
right, all right, no problem.
All right, peace. But yeah, I think that they're gonna have their monster run, and I think something's gonna happen during that run where it's gonna create the divide. But by that time, she's gonna have enough laps in where they're gonna be able to really have a good match one-on-one. And because a lot of times when tag teams break up and they have their match, they usually have a great match because I mean, except for the Usos. But they typically it's like they have a banger because when you're a tag team, you build up that chemistry. So when you got that chemistry in that relationship, usually you have great matches. And I think I think that that's gonna be the match where it's like, oh, we knew she was a star, but she's a star. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then she can have her run from there. Like, I think they're doing it the right way. To me, that's my opinion. I think I don't
know. I think they should have kept the straps on them because I mean, even now we'll see what happens. Like what the news is as far as why we haven't heard from them.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like they took the straps from them, and after that, you would assume that Bianca and Jade would be in a running to get their titles back. But it's like they just pivoted so fast to a whole nother team that's beefing with those two young ladies, and they came out of nowhere too. I didn't hear much about them, but again, I don't really follow NXT like that, so maybe they had a following in NXT, but it seemed like they just came out of nowhere.
They did have a following, and then they got caught up to the main roster, but they was like floundering. They wasn't doing much, but then they started making like, appearances and stuff. And I didn't expect them to. I didn't expect them to win, but then I know what happened after that because Bianca did wrestle after that when they lost the tag titles. She was in a qualifying match for Money in the Bank. And she lost, and then Jade
lost because of interference or something. They both lost on like some interference. Like it wasn't just like a straight loss. It was like
it was interference. Like so it keep them looking strong. But that's why the pivot happened. So now we're gonna see what happens after Money in the Bank and see if they go back to try and get their titles back.
Okay. So now, a couple of things, it's we going on 2 hours. It's crazy. It's lit. It's lit when I'm in the building. You hear it?
Yeah.
But all right. So the first thing, just as far as, because again, I still want to hear. I want to hear your Mount Rushmore as far as like your Mount Rushmore, right? So we did our five, but it was based off of you can't pick. If I pick, I can't pick if you pick. But I want to hear, who your five is without those stipulations. Um, but also just, staying on the topic of kind of money in the bank and what's to come. Sounds like what's the next pay-per-view? Because I know that they promoted Bad Blood for September, which is taking the place of Fastlane.
Fastlane.
So
Next
we
up is
still have SummerSlam.
yeah, SummerSlam is next month.
Okay. So what are your predictions based off of feelings, no facts, where we are in the landscape of the WWE universe? What do you foresee to be some matches for SummerSlam?
For SummerSlam, I'm not even gonna mention the two that's already given. The Bailey versus Nia Jax and Gunther versus Damian Priest.
Okay.
Those matches are already a given. As far as other matches go, I'm thinking that if Roman Reigns doesn't come back before SummerSlam, I'm thinking that we're gonna get Cody versus Solo.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also thinking that we're gonna get Randy and KO versus some form. It might be the Tonga brothers against them, or they might throw Jacob Fatu in there. Somehow we're gonna get those matches. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking that Liv. I know it's gonna be a Liv match on there, but I don't know who her opponent is gonna be at this point. Unless Rhea like reappears.
Well, and I'm so all right. We'll go out. I'm gonna let you finish because I think that it's gonna be Rhea versus Liv.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, if she comes back, that's who I'm thinking is gonna be Rhea versus Liv.
All right. So I think we got Gunther and Damian. I think we're going to get Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk, which I think
I forgot about that match. Yeah.
And I think that'll be good for Seth Rollins and CM Punk because like that match with Damian Priest, Seth really like he looks slow. And he like Seth Rollins matches. Seth Rollins always starts fast in his matches. But in the past, he's able to kind of keep up kind of that pace. Is really about his opponent being able to keep up pace with him. Now, Barr, he came off of an injury that I believe, what was his back? He had a back injury, or what was the latest injury that that kept him out? Yeah, for Seth.
I know he had some kind of knee surgery after
Okay.
Mania, so I'm not sure if it was like something simple like a meniscus. I'm sure it was because he wasn't out that long.
Yeah, but whatever. But you can see he's not in Seth Rollins shape.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
not at
all. Again, for a man in his late 30s, he's in damn good shape. But as like Seth Rollins standard of shape, he wasn't in good shape, and it showed. I feel like it showed a lot in that match with Damian Priest at Money in the Bank, where he had a little bit of ring rust. So I think, and then having CM Punk, CM Punk came back, he wrestled Royal Rumble, got hurt, and he hasn't wrestled since. I think he had a match with Dom once. Maybe he had a match on SmackDown, but he hasn't really done a lot of wrestling. So now, if you want to bring CM Punk You don't necessarily want him to go one-on-one with Drew McIntyre just yet if you want to see how much you can milk out of it, especially if Gunther's going to be the world champion. You want to, keep Drew McIntyre and Seth kind of in the talk. So now you have them three kind of, going at it, and what that looks like, you can kind of keep that going a little longer. So I do think we get a triple threat match there. I think we get Liv versus Rhea Ripley, Belly versus Nia Jax. That seems like it's going to happen. I feel like the bloodline. I feel like last night was kind of the ending to Bloodline versus Randy and KO. It just felt that way with the Bloodline getting the win. I do think that we'll possibly get Solo Sikoa versus Cody for the WWE title, and I think Roman Reigns interferes. Either Roman interferes or Paul Heyman comes back and interferes. But I think that there'll be something tied to the Bloodline Civil War that comes out of SummerSlam. And man, that might be it. It's a shame that I can't foresee tag titles being put on the line. Maybe Wyatt Six in some capacity versus Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. Maybe that's possible, you know.
Especially, I can see that.
I hate, like, I like what they're doing with the Wyatt Six as far as, like, I've always been a Bo Dallas fan. He's always been entertaining to me. Obviously he's a smaller wrestler, and the gravity of his brother was just so much more than what he was. It's an unfortunate spot to be in. But I do like the vignettes as far as, like, it's like him self-diagnosing himself. With Uncle Howdy being like the alter ego as opposed to just being a completely different person. I think that production is pretty good, has been pretty good. But again, payoff in ring. If you're telling me that the payoff in ring for Chad Gable versus the Wyatt Six is he now finds his family with the Creed brothers, I didn't need Wyatt Six for that. Like, when Sami Zayn, when Sami Zayn was looking to face Gunther for the Intercontinental title, and he didn't think he had what it took, he seeked out Chad Gable, and Chad Gable, kind of helped him out and coached him through what he needs to do to beat Gunther. Why can't the Creed brothers have seeked out Chad Gable, who was going through it with his old Alpha Academy, and say, hey, why don't you help us and we could be the new Alpha Academy? You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't need, like, Wyatt. And you died, dog. you died. like you died. You came back a week later. Like, I knew he was going to do it.
Yeah, I think based on, like, the vignettes and stuff, what they said, what was said was pretty much, like, essentially, I don't know word for word, but they was essentially saying those who aren't grateful for their families and go against their families. So that could be Chad Gable because he went against the Alpha Academy.
That could be the Uso.
That could be, well, not even the Uso now. It's Solo, because Solo attacked Jimmy.
But remember, Jay went against the family first.
He did, but
he quit on the family and then went to Raw.
He did. So it could be him.
And they keeping him away from SmackDown. You ain't noticed that? They keeping the Wyatts away from SmackDown.
Oh yeah.
SmackDown is the A show. SmackDown has been the A show, like for the past couple of months. And Raw is supposed to be the A show, but you get it's like way more drama on Raw. Even when there's, like, drama on SmackDown. Even when there's drama on Raw, like the CM Punk Drew McIntyre stuff, they'll pull that over to SmackDown. Because I feel like SmackDown's been such a better show that they want to make sure people can still follow the story plans. But yeah, you don't see the Wyatts on SmackDown.
Not, at least not yet.
Man, keep them off of SmackDown, please. Just keep them on
It
Raw.
could happen. It could happen.
Keep them
But
on Raw, man.
I think what they're doing though with them, the slow burn is working. Like the introduction.
No,
It is
no,
with the. You want to know why?
no.
Yeah.
I'll hear you. I'll hear you out.
You want to know
I'll hear
why?
you.
You want to know why? Because the vignettes get you into the mind of Bo. So you get Bo is the orchestrator. So you're getting into his mind, and you're like, oh, okay. So this is his purpose, his reason. So then he found his family. So you're getting this understanding, and at first, the first one you're like, so you telling me they supposed to be two different people? And then by the end of that second one, it's like they flicker, and then you realize, oh no, this is all this is all one person, and he's having out of body experience.
He getting this Tyler Durden on.
Yeah, and in the abandoned Firefly Funhouse, by the way, that's in the background.
Yeah,
so you can see that. So I'm like, it's the touches that they're doing is very. You could tell this is very a continuation of that second run with Bray Wyatt, because his that was a slow burn that never got to play out. So you could see the continuation of it, and I like how they're touching back and doing that. And then I think the next step is each character is going to be able to build and showcase, and you're going to be like, all right, so what was I doing before this? And now I see salvation. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. I like that idea. I do like that idea. Here's what I don't like. Chad Gable brings 2 security guards out with him to the ring. 2 weeks in a row. He's brought 2 security guards out with him. The second week, we didn't even see the security guards come out, but we knew that they were there. Why? Because after the smoke clears, you see both security guards laid out strategically on the announcer's table. Mind you, Michael Cole and Corey Graves, is it Corey? I think it's Corey.
Yeah.
Are at the announce table. You don't hear them during the vignette say, "Hey, wait, what's going on with the security guards? There's something." No, the security guards just happen to just be knocked out.
But they're not supposed to see it. They're not supposed. All right, so wrestling.
How they not supposed to see it?
You're supposed to suspend belief, right? When the lights go out. Seriously. Listen. In a horror movie, right? In a horror movie, right?
This is not a horror movie. Man.
But it's supposed to be. This is supposed to be a horror part of wrestling. In horror movies, right? It's times where the lights go out, right? We can still see the people because it's not totally pitch black. They're supposedly it's pitch black and can't see what's going on around them.
Do Michael Cole got issues? This is
what I'm saying. In this horror aspect of wrestling, it's supposed to be pitch black where you can't see around you. This is supposed to be a horror scenario. This is suspended belief.
This is why this is the part of it that sucks, because it's like I'll say, like, all right, I don't mind suspending my belief. It's one thing to make me suspend my belief, but it's another thing where you're playing with me now. Like, all right, the girl comes out. It's the ring girl. Get it? The ring girl, because the ring, the ring. Funny. But she comes out, gives the box, so you can talk through this girl bringing you a box, but you're not talking through explaining why there are 2 grown ass men laid out on your announce table. You didn't feel these men getting accosted while the lights were out. Like, someone didn't bump into you, Michael Cole, while you're sitting in the dark waiting for the ring girl to hand you the VHS.
I mean, yeah, okay. And in the reality and the common sense things, yeah, that is true. But we also watch wrestling, and we also are made to believe that a guy can get hit in the head with steps and chairs and get punched and don't get a black eye, don't get concussed, can keep going.
No,
And
we do see. All right, yes, you're right. Yes,
that's what I'm saying. Like it's a
yes. We watched a man get unalived.
I mean, we didn't see that part either.
We didn't see that part, but
it was suspending your belief.
But okay, he came back the next day with a Band-Aid.
It was a week.
Yo, with a Band-Aid.
I mean,
he got hit with a sledgehammer. With a sledgehammer.
Allegedly, I mean, supposedly.
Allegedly.
Because we suspended our belief.
Right, with a sledgehammer. So now I'll suspend my belief to believe that Chad Gable got hit by a sledgehammer. I'll suspend my belief if you tell me because of what happened to Chad Gable with the sledgehammer, he will not be able to attend Raw the next week. I'll even believe it if you tell me he can't attend Raw 2 weeks in a row. Good grief, he got hit with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
But he come back a week later with a Band-Aid.
All right, so sledgehammer. Good point. I'm about to bring up something. We watched a Hell in a Cell match between Undertaker and Triple H. Triple H hit Undertaker in the head with a sledgehammer. Undertaker kicked out at 2 and then proceeded to come back and win the match in the same match. But we suspended. No. I'm gonna
argue it. That's different. That is different. Triple H hit him. Triple H hit him. What? He backsmacked Undertaker. No. A sledgehammer in his hand.
No. See, but you're using logic in the match.
You gotta have logic.
Yeah. But listen,
logically, you're making. This man got hit with the metal part of a sledgehammer.
Okay, all right. So let's take it back. Let's take it back then. WrestleMania 17, they had a match, and he had him up for the last ride, and he slung down and hit him in the head with the sledgehammer.
All right.
So
I get it.
And the match continued.
But did he hit him hard with a sledgehammer, or did he just like?
No, he was up in the air and he swung the sledgehammer and it flipped. After he hit it hit his head. It flipped off. Like he got hit in the head. So
who won the match?
Undertaker.
Undertaker won that match after getting hit with the sledgehammer?
Yes. He won because he was still undefeated at WrestleMania 17.
You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do. Because you're making a valid point. I'm going to concede the battle, the Wyatt battle, to you. But what I'm telling you is there is not going to be a good outcome for anyone that goes up against the Wyatt Six. You're going to get a whole bunch of supernatural crap, and then after your program with the Wyatt Six is done, all the supernatural is going to subside, and it's going to kill some people. Like Chad Gable, Chad Gable saving grace is if people buy into the Creed brothers and Chad Gable as like the manager / leader, where it's the Alpha Academy that we wanted, right? Because we've been looking for like a tag team, like the greatest tag team of all time since the greatest tag team of all time, right? When we had who was with Shelton Benjamin? Was that Chad? That was Chad Gable. Gable, Shelton Benjamin, and Kurt Angle.
No, that was Charlie Haas.
Charlie Haas.
Yeah.
So we had that with Charlie Haas, and then they tried it with Chad Gable and Jason Jordan.
Yeah.
That's when they tried it again, but then they messed that up with the whole Angle is Jason Jordan's dad. They messed that whole thing up.
Yeah, that was weird.
But now we're getting the Creed brothers are in that same ville, right? Where it's we are very talented in the ring. We're very strong. We could do some phenomenal things, but our mic skills, none of that. Now you have Chad Gable with the mic skills with a tag team that is a legit standout tag team that's just lacking the personality that Chad can bring to it. you're anticipating that. So that's Chad Gable's saving grace. But anyone else, like there is no, like, all right, Jey Uso. Let's say main event Jey Uso is the next guy, or maybe even or maybe they use that to write him off, the Pat McAfee, because they came to his set and they did some funky stuff on his set of the Pat McAfee show, and then we haven't seen Pat McAfee since, right? So who knows what's going on there? But it seemed like they were leading to Pat McAfee possibly being the next person. Maybe it becomes the Rambling Rabbit now stalks back. Who knows? But for a wrestler standpoint, there is no payoff for battling with the Wyatt Six. You don't.
I have a rebuttal.
Go ahead. Well, I'll say this: you don't look strong if you beat them, because if you are a wrestler, you're expected to beat them, because the Wyatt Six are less than mid carders as far as the people behind the mask, and you can't have the Wyatt Six lose. You can't have them lose, because that takes the steam off of this group that's supposed to be like the supernatural domineering group, right? That's all on the psychology. And if you have them win, you take the steam away from whoever it is that's feuding with them. So now that they got to go from feuding with the supernatural to now, going back to, feuding for an IC title or something, it don't make sense. And it's not going to make sense.
Okay. And I hear your opinion, but my rebuttal is this. Let's go back to the Fiend character, right? Hurt Hill. Okay. So there were 3 feuds I can think of, right? Where the Fiend character was either just to straight up hurt you, which he did that sometimes, or it was the heel. He went against Finn Balor, supernatural character. He healed him because after that he found the demon character again. He went against Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman was like on a downward spiral. He healed him, and then he became Braun Strowman again.
Braun Strowman became the protector of the LWO. What are we talking about?
I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about back.
No, but even back then, like he had choo-choo train sounds behind him when he was running the ring. Like they ruined Braun. Braun was a monster. He was a monster among men. He feuded with the Fiend, and now he becomes the choo-choo train guy.
Well, I mean, before
mommy, big man's a choo-choo now. Big man's a train.
Before he feuded with the Fiend, what really killed his momentum was them feeding him to Brock Lesnar 2-3 times. That's what really did it. But the character that actually got propelled after he dealt with the Fiend, Roman Reigns. After he feuded with Roman Reigns, instead of him being that baby face that got pushed down our throats, he became the head of the table.
I feel like Kevin Owens' feud did more for Roman Reigns than the Fiend feud.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that after he feuded with the Fiend, that's what propelled him to that character. It was that was part of the Fiend's thing with his supernatural thing. It was like he either just put the mandible claw on you to hurt you, and then you was just down, or he used the other one that was the heel, and then it brought you back. It brought you to who you're supposed to be.
I never even saw that. I never even realized that. You just put me on. But all right, so after the Fiend, the Fiend loses to Roman Reigns, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. He lost to Roman Reigns. He beat Finn Balor. And he beat LA Knight. Only person that really Roman was just Roman. Roman was going to be Roman regardless of who he fought. Like that was the cards for Roman. So even whether it was Fiend or not Fiend, Roman was still going to be a leader of the bloodline. I don't feel like it really impacted Roman one way or the next. I feel like it took steam off of LA Knight because LA Knight just stopped. He stopped being with Maxine and that whole male model situation they was doing over there to be an LA Knight. That could have derailed him. That could have derailed him. And Finn Balor, like Demon Finn in the WWE has not been a success to me, other than a cool ass entrance like Demon Finn. I think with the match with Edge could have been better, but obviously that wasn't really Finn's fault. He got hurt during that match, so he was fighting the match concussed, I believe. But like when he brings the demon out, it's kind of the same. Like there's not a difference in the fight style. It's still Finn Balor. It's just that he's coming out and then the lights and he's, you know what I mean? Like all the theatrics of it. Like once you get past the 5 minute, 5-10 minute entrance, it's just a Finn Balor match. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is, after that, he went back to NXT, and NXT was when he first found his heel character, and this was after the Fiend. So he kind of came, Finn Balor went back to NXT for a minute, and that's when he became the heel Finn Balor. But it was right after. So the supernatural stuff, it can be clunky sometimes, but if you go back to the Taker stuff, it works sometimes. It just depends.
But remember, for Taker also, he had to become the cowboy, the American badass.
But that even was done in a supernatural way. Kane buried him. Kane had to bury him so that the American badass can be born.
Well, yeah, but like so, the point that I'm making is they had the supernatural. The supernatural can go but so far, and now we have the supernatural Undertaker character. If we want him to continue, we can't continue him as Undertaker because after a while, the supernatural of Undertaker doesn't really work when you need him to be the face of the show. You feel what I'm saying? Like it works when we can build you up, where we have vignettes where you're playing mind games with the person that you're going against. But now we need you to talk. We need you to be big dog. So if you big dog, you can't be Undertaker. You got to be the American badass. And now you're the American badass for a few years. So we have the nostalgia of the Undertaker. We remember the Undertaker, but we are not bored of the Undertaker because we got a break from that supernatural shit. And then he brings it back like during like WrestleManias or now when SummerSlams or events where it was more like it was less about the canon of the season of WWE and more about the theatricalities of the show we're putting on. You know what I'm saying? So it's
there's one thing that you forgetting though. When he came back after he was the American Badass, he had a run from 2004 to 2010 when he was there steady. He was full time, and he put on some of the best matches of his career from 2004 to 2010 as the Dead Man when he came back.
But even that, he wasn't the Undertaker. He was the Dead Man. He wasn't supernatural.
He was so supernatural.
At times, but it wasn't like the Earn.
When he 2006 Royal Rumble after the Kurt Angle Mark Henry match, he came out. He raised his hands and lightning came out, hit the jaw, and then he put his hands down and the lightning came, struck the turnbuckles and the ring collapsed and Kurt Angle was in it. He did stuff like that. He did the matter of fact, in 2005, before that, Randy Orton slapped him. And then Randy Orton ran out the ring, and then all of a sudden everything started flickering. It was like the Tron was going crazy, everything. And then he raised his hands up that time, and the pyro came up behind Randy Orton. Like it was still supernatural stuff. It was a lot of stuff. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like the stuff can work.
But was he unaliving people?
I mean, we throwing people in caskets and stuff, and
you throwing them in a casket. You're not hitting them with a freaking sledgehammer, and then the next week they coming back with just a band-aid on their head, man. I feel like it's a difference. I hear your point. I hear your point, and again, I want the Wyatt Six to work because the characters that are in the Wyatt Six, I have an admiration. I have an admiration for underdogs. You know what I'm saying? Like the little serial killer, not serial. You know, I'm a stalker. When he was Dexter Loomis,
Oh
that
yeah.
angle, I felt like it worked. Like if you give them a reason to want to stalk someone, hey, I'm stalking the Intercontinental Champion because I want to know what it's like to be the Intercontinental Champion. What does he have that I don't have? Like where you could play into the psychology of the stalking. When it just becomes, hey, the Miz hired me, and now I'm stalking the Miz. It's like, all right, y'all just making it a character of what it could be, but it could be, like ring psychology if you play it the right way. Nikki Cross, like that kind of Tasmanian devil kind of, attitude. Like she reminds me kind of sort of like Mankind, where it's not the look, but she is a good worker. She doesn't have the look, but she's a good worker, and Rowan for nostalgic reasons, you know what I'm saying? For the original Wyatts. Like, so I want the characters to work and I want them to win. But in the past, I think that the Bray Wyatt Supernatural has not really worked. It hasn't worked. Bray was over from the fan base, and he was a liked personality. But again, I don't think any of those matches, even the Firefly Funhouse matches, the matches on the Wyatt compound, the match he had with Randy Orton, where the ring, the color of the ring lights change, and there's like a hologram video on the mat that turns into bugs and flies and different things. It's like, what is it? Get this bullshit off of my television. Even the LA Night match where everything is red is like it's bullshit. Like you have this character who works, whose ring psychology works, whose mic skill works, even his in-ring ability works, but you're muddying it up with all this supernatural bullshit at the wrong time. If Undertaker gets buried in a casket and appears on the Titantron and brings electricity or lightning bolt down to hit the casket, it's supernatural, but it works in the storytelling. But you have, Bray Wyatt get burned alive. You know what I'm saying? Like get burned alive. The next week he's back. It's like, come on, what are we doing? Like we gotta have some sense of reality in this.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my conversation with you, I'm just being contrarian, just for the sake of the podcast. But I understand because you have to look at things you have to look at both sides. You like it's a possibility that this might not work, but it's like even with the Bray Wyatt thing, I think if the Bray Wyatt thing happened in this era, I think even though it was supernatural, it would have worked better because. I think that he would have been allowed to do things without as much pushback.
Well, I mean, he is this era.
I mean, I'm talking about the Triple H when Triple H is just in control without Vince McMahon being over anything. But if he was like with Triple H being like the head,
the Paul Levesque era, isn't that what they call it?
The Paul Levesque era. I think that things would have went a little different. Like some of the storylines wouldn't have played out how it did. I think it would have. If Bray was allowed, like how Roman was allowed to just him and Paul Heyman was allowed to just cook with the Bloodline storyline and didn't really have no back office input. Really, I think if Bray was allowed to do that, the storylines wouldn't have got muddy as much.
I guess they would have. I think you have to get muddy in order to have that character make sense from a story standpoint. It has to get muddy. Like Bloodline works because Roman and the Usos, they're all family and they come from a lineage of great Samoan wrestlers. So it works in that standpoint where even the silliness of it, where hey, go ahead and get on the private jet. We got ahi ahi waiting, for you there. And like even that part of it is it still works because it's still, hey, we are related. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
we're it's affection. So with the Wyatt stuff, you can't just have them even the Judgment Day. They got away from it with the Judgment Day, if you remember.
Yeah.
Where they had the Judgment Day kind of being like this supernatural fluid. We come out with
Yo, yeah, yeah, Mike, making some noise, getting some feedback. Nah, no, I can't hear you. I heard it's some kind of static. Is it connected to the box? Check, make sure it's still connected.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, say something again.
Can you hear me? Test,
Yeah,
test.
you sound a little low, but I can hear you.
Oh, what is going on? Why is that happening? Let me see if I can.
Wait, I just heard something. You could sound a little louder.
What about now?
Yeah, you good now.
All right, cool. But yeah, you kind of need the hokiness for the Wyatt stuff to work. And unfortunately, like the Firefly Funhouse, not necessarily the Firefly Funhouse matches, but the vignettes with Bray Wyatt kind of talking about people and having it like the cartoon Mr. Rogers type of thing.
Mhm.
That part did work, but again, it was like, what is the payoff? Because now you've just become a sideshow. That's what it is. You're a sideshow. Like
Mhm.
like you're a sideshow at. Like we're coming to see Roman Reigns. We're coming to see the champion versus an opponent, whether it's the World Heavyweight Championship, the Intercontinental Championship, the Tag Team Championship. We're coming for that. But then we have like these sideshows, storylines that
Mhm.
entertain us, in a way. Some of those storylines make sense where I'm invested in it because it's a part of the build up for the next opponent for the Intercontinental title, or it's a part of the build up for the opponent for the world title. It's part of the build up for the opponents for the tag titles. But then you got those side shows where it's like, all right, where are we going with this? Okay, this week, like this month, is this guy they're feuding with? So we're gonna watch the Wyatts, beef with Chad Gable for for the summer. And then
Mhm.
once Chad Gable, once that finishes, like what is the payoff? Does Chad Gable win and now he's with the Creed brothers, and then they move on. The Wyatt Six moves on to a new wrestler to have like this sideshow thing with that doesn't equate to anything. Like, do the Wyatts go for a title? Are they going for all the titles? Like, what is like what is the payoff of having them? Because right now it just seems like what they're going to be is a sideshow, and it's cool at first, but again, going back to being entertained by the journey and then losing his luster once the journey completes. You know what I'm saying? They kind of
Mhm.
fall into that where it's like, yeah, we're entertained by it now, but after a while, we won't get bored of it.
I think right now I appreciate the way they're doing it just because this storyline is so many people are emotionally invested just because there's real life death involved in
Yeah,
it, and it's like you paying tribute and you also continuing this man's story and his work without him, and this is his real life brother. So it's like they bring in the emotional ties, and so you're invested based on that alone, just
yeah,
right off rip. And now you're seeing the story come together, so they're piecing it together. And I think the payoff is going to come. Is just because now most people are like in a microwave society. Like, give me everything now. Like,
yeah.
it's not like you can't really do the long term storylines like that. But I think with this right here, we just got to sit back and watch. as wrestling fans. Like we just got to see where it goes, and like you, I'm hoping that it pays off and goes well because personally, Bray Wyatt deserves it. Like his mind for wrestling and everything, I think he deserves for this to pay off the way it's supposed to. But right now, it's so murky that we can't see it. Like it's not clear, and I think it's not supposed to be clear for us. I think that's the beauty in it, and I think that's the confusing part of it, where it's like what's next? Like, are they going for titles eventually? What's the purpose? What's next for Chad Gable? Because they seem to always come when he's out there. So it's like,
and when Jey Uso's out there,
yeah. And then Jey Uso always conveniently is gone, but he made a point to be like, I don't even want the fireflies. You can call them mosquitoes, cockroaches.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
take them back with you.
Yeah. So it's like, I think that's when you're a wrestling fan, I think that's part of the beauty of it. You just like, damn, what comes next? Like a lot of these online news sites, they break all the stories. I think it's kind of ruined the essence of being a wrestling fan because you kind of, it desensitizes you. So you like, I expect this to happen this week because so-and-so said this. So you come into the show looking forward to something where like before you just be like, oh, I'm just tuning in. And whatever happened, you like, oh my God, oh. Like that sense of surprise is gone. And now we're just like, we don't have that just excitement. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you do get excited, it's like, yeah, it's like you already then like you're already pre-excited to your excitement. You know what I'm saying? Like and I just
but I think even with that though, like you have circumstances, or I mean you have times where it adds up, right? Like the lead up for like Finn Balor, you know, I remember it was like the internet is going crazy, you know, Finn Balor is going to WWE. So there was a huge lead up. He gets there. They had a push for him. He was the first Universal Champion, I believe.
Yeah.
And then he just kept getting hurt. So
he got hurt in that match when he won it, and he had to relinquish it the next day, and then they never pushed him again.
Well, because every time they tried to push him, he would get hurt. Because he remember he's been out a couple of times. He's been out for long periods of time, and so it's like that was a circumstance where, you know, like the fan base was expecting him to like not be this thing, and then was expecting him to be this big thing, and he didn't lead up to it. Then you have like a Jacob Fatu, like the internet saying, "Oh, he's coming," and he gets there, and from what we see from, you know, the first look, it looks like it worked. You know what I'm saying? So there are times where, you know, like, yeah, we're smart, we're savvy fans, and we know everything, and we get disappointed if it doesn't lead up to the hype. But, you know, we just hope that we have more times where that hype does equate to something. So again, you know, I hope the Y6 thing does make waves and is something, but I don't necessarily have the most confidence in it. I hope they find a way to get Judgment Day back on track. I actually like Judgment Day. I hate the goofiness that they've gotten into since they added Finn's guy, you know,
JD McDonough,
yeah. I loved but hated what they were doing with R-Truth. I thought it brought comic relief, but I also thought that if Judgment Day is the Raw equivalent of the Bloodline on SmackDown, then you keep them far away from the funnies. You know what I'm saying? Like they shouldn't. That was with the funnies.
I mean, but Sami Zayn was the funny for the Bloodline.
Sami Zayn was the funny for the Bloodline, but he also was the funny for the Bloodline.
Yeah, because that he's not feeling very oozy today broke everybody in the ring.
It did. but it was funny with a purpose.
Yeah.
Like it was funny, but he kind of was the, hey, there's tension, like this whole thing formed really because it was Roman Reigns versus, I believe, Jimmy Uso at the time, and then
Jay.
it was Roman versus Jay, and they were having their things, and then Jimmy and Jay were having their things. So in the midst of all this turmoil, here's Sami Zayn to kind of throw in a quib here and there to remind everyone that, oh, we all on the same team. There's a bigger goal in play, as opposed to having R-Truth like, I'm in the bloodline, right? Like, hey, it's like R-Truth was there to spoof what the bloodline was doing with Sami Zayn. It kind of, it feels like in that capacity where I can't take this serious. Like R-Truth, again, underrated wrestler, underrated mic skills. I mean, he's in his 60s and he's
hilarious.
Still going, yeah. But I mean, even his in-ring skills,
Oh yeah, he's a damn vampire. Because he look at his old stuff. He looked exactly the same stuff, but his hair just longer.
Yeah, and he still could do them same athletic moves that he was doing.
Yeah,
like that stuff is he's he's an alien. But I don't want him around, like don't spoof the Judgment Day, especially when the Judgment Day kept eyes on the screen for like the past year or two. It was Seth Rollins and it was the Judgment Day, and that's what people cared about on Raw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bloodline, Seth Rollins, Judgment Day. Like that's what it was until Cody came. So it's like get back serious, man.
Yeah.
Like
I didn't
stuff.
Yeah, I didn't see it as him spoofing the Judgment Day because I think the Judgment Day still had their seriousness because they never got goofy with them. They was always like, get out of here. You're not in the Judgment Day. Like, I think
no, you gotta do it like Damian Priest was. Get out of here.
You're not. Get out of here.
Que se bueno. You're not in the Judgment Day. Que se bueno.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think
but they did buy into it. They was over there selling merch together and all that.
I mean, yeah, but it was funny because it played up on their heel persona because they was like, we keep telling you to get out. Oh, but you got money for us? Oh yeah, sure, you can hang out. Yeah, give us all this money. And then it built up to R-Truth having this moment with the Miz. He finally got the point after Miz told him like they don't like you, and then they won the tag titles. So he got to have his moment. I'm glad that he got to have a moment like that to get the tag titles because before that he was funny as hell, but he was irrelevant.
Yeah,
like as far as his in ring work, even though we know he was a NWA champion. You know what I'm saying? Like he got skills, but in WWE he was irrelevant.
Yeah, I hate how they use Ron. I hate how they use him in WWE. I mean, he's hilarious. He is hilarious.
Yeah, but he shouldn't just be a laughing stock. Like he's too good. He should be more than that. But it was like the Judgment Day kind of gave him a rub, where it's like people got okay. I want him to win the title. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, some more.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh yeah, that was
little Jimmy, little Jimmy. Yo, really?
That was
like he was at the peak.
Yeah,
he was at the peak of R-Truth in WWE, and they had him lose because he was distracted by Lil Jimmy.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? This guy, I know R-Truth knows, especially like prior, like Lil Jimmy and stuff. I know he's probably like, there's some racist stuff. But I'm gonna turn shit to into like this 5-star meal. I'm gonna make it work. And much to his credit, he makes everything work. Even though I don't like that they have him as like the minstrel show, but he makes everything work.
He do with the my bad.
Yeah, when he coming out with the like thinking that he was talking in the match and he wasn't in the match. He was like, my bad, this on me.
That's on me. I'm a climb that ladder. Like, true, you're not even in the match.
I know, right?
That's on me. My bad. Yeah, so I get it.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't like because that's a lot. It's a lot. That's like a whole bottle of salt of racism. Like with him, whew.
Vinnie Mac, boy, Vinnie Mac.
Yeah.
But before we go, man, I like I said, I want to get you. I want to get you Mount Rushmore, man. I want to get what the list is. What the list is outside of our criteria. Just like you growing up being a fan of wrestling, who is your personal Mount Rushmore?
Well, if we doing that, well, you can go first. You the guest. Go ahead.
All right. So my personal Mount Rushmore: Shawn Michaels.
That's number
Steve
one.
Austin.
Or no particular order.
No particular order yet. Well, all right. If I have to put it in order, I would say The Rock, Shawn Michaels, John Cena, Steve Austin, and I think I talked myself into Triple H.
So in that, Rock is number one.
Rock at number one. Yeah.
Okay.
Rock at number one. Shawn Michaels at number two. If you want to switch Ric Flair and Triple H, you can, but I think that Triple H's career, especially from where he started to where he is now, just like the whole career arc, he gotta be mentioned. He gotta be mentioned with the best.
I can't dispute that list. That's a solid list.
I appreciate that.
All right.
So who you got?
All right. So my list is, as I said before, Sting number one, Undertaker number two,
okay,
Ric Flair 3, right. Shawn Michaels 4, and then my number 5 it switches sometimes, but right now my 5th is Bret Hart.
All right, that's not a bad list. That's not bad. Mount Rushmore.
Right outside of there is like Chris Jericho, Kurt Angle, Triple H. But that's my Mount Rushmore.
Now, who do you think, as far as the young talent today, has a chance to remove any of those guys from the Mount Rushmore?
Seth Rollins.
I was going to say Seth too.
Roman Reigns.
I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
You think Roman?
Yeah, his title reign alone, like his work during the 3 years.
But who? All right, so who did he? Because all right, so way I think that Roman's career is coming to an end. I don't, I think outside. I think he's at the place in his career. Obviously he battles health issues every now and then. But he was in a movie with The Rock, the Hobbs and Shaw movie. Yeah. I think he has, like a Hollywood look. So he's at that point of his career where it's like, okay, do I wrestle or do I go to Hollywood? You know what I'm saying?
I think he's definitely gonna be part-time.
Yeah. So now knowing that means that the best of Roman is behind him now. So based off of the best of Roman, who is he? Who is he? Who, like, all right, so who will he remove? Because like again, I'll give you Seth. Like Seth held down. He held down a era. You know, like he held down the era. Part with the Shield. He has classic matches with top WWE folks. He's a workhorse. He's good on the mic. He's he's always any story that he's involved in, you're heavily invested in it. So you know, there's a lot to Seth where I could see him, you know, being like a Shawn Michaels or someone like that, or even like Chris Jericho as far as like the work rate. But like who would Roman take off of the list? Like who would be removed? Whose face would be chiseled off of Mount Rushmore and replaced with Roman?
He could take Brett.
Okay.
Because look, all right. So you mentioned Seth. Their careers were actually parallel. It's just that Seth was allowed to be the character that he should have been.
Yeah.
Roman was being forced to be a babyface and being force fed these promos that made people turn on him. But his actual match, he was putting on good matches. He had solid matches during that time. It's just that when he became the head of the table, because he was allowed to be the heel, and he was allowed, he was better on the mic because he was in control of his promos with Paul Heyman.
Right.
So once he was able to be comfortable and stuff like that, you see the character work, you see the mic skills, even his matches elevated, his look elevated. You know what I'm saying? Like he was doing some great stuff. If he was allowed to do this before, you know what I'm saying? They were already like comparable, but they would have been even more comparable. Their careers.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
So that's why I say Roman. Like, and then his title reign.
That goes down in history. That title reign goes down in history.
Yeah, like he's incredible. Who I said Seth, Roman, Gunther.
I give you Gunther. I do think Gunther has a
He got like that old school feel.
Yeah, that old school back. He's another one where, like, even his bad, his heel and his. So we haven't really seen babyface Gunther in this iteration of Gunther, but when he talks, he doesn't talk out of disrespect. It's like he talks out of respect for the business. And when he dresses down his opponents, he's not dressing them down in a demeaning manner or a purposely demeaning manner. He's dressing them down based off of his observations. Like, look, I brought prestige to the IC title. Like, you think that you can do what I did with this, or even when he talks about the winner of the Seth Rollins versus Damian Priest, he's like, I don't care who wins. Like, you're going to have to face me, and I'm at the top of my game. Like, neither of you can beat me. So it's like his heel. He's more of a heel to me because of Kaiser, who I love Kaiser's character too. I think is underrated.
Definitely.
But he, you know, like his heel and his if he becomes a babyface, let's say fans start cheering for Gunther, I don't foresee there being that much change in his personality as a babyface as he is as a heel. So
that's a good point. That's a good point because I think he's gonna be the same. Yeah, he's not going to change at all. You're not gonna see him smiling and talking all jolly and nothing.
He'll just smile ironically, like if someone says, "Oh, you can't beat me."
You know, and he does that sometimes now. So
yeah.
It's like he'll laugh at somebody when they say they'll beat him. Like, haha, okay, like you know what I'm saying? That's a good point though. I didn't even think about him, but yeah, he is like a tweener for real. Because what he says, he always says, "Respect the ring. We come here. This is hollow grounds," and you know he speaks like that with respect. And when he feels somebody is a joke, he just lets them know like, "Yo, you're a joke."
Yep.
So yeah,
and another one for me, of course, like Mussolini,
Oh yeah, CM Punk. Yeah.
But now the unfortunate reality for CM Punk, that time away from wrestling hurts his stock because we don't know if he'll have the same work rate as some of the greats that we've mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if fans, because I do remember there was a time when Punk was like the baby face where it seemed like fans were getting tired of the Punk. You know what I'm saying? Like all right, we get it. You're gonna come out here and you're gonna pipe bomb us, or we're expecting you to give us a pipe bomb every time. And if it doesn't live up to it, then it's just kind of like, all right, it's dead. You know what I mean? Like a dead crowd. So we don't know if that could have happened, again, because he went away for so long. Then he had to run an AEW, which was like short lived and wasn't, I mean, maybe some of the stuff he did with MJF, but the Samoa Joe stuff seemed like it was could have been built up to be a pretty good feud that he could have on his docket.
Because they had a good feud in the ROH.
Yeah. But we didn't get to see it, you know what I'm saying? Because then he leaves AEW and now he comes back to WWE. He's an older guy, he's in his 40s. So I don't anticipate him being back for like maybe he got a good 3 years left in him before he's loses a step, you know what I'm saying? But in those years, can he put on the type of matches like he's showing that what he can do with Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. So like we're seeing that. We're going to see that all in rest of 2024 and into 2025. So we're seeing that. But then what happens after that? Like, does he have some memorable matches with Cody? Does he have a Roman? Do we get a CM Punk Roman Reigns feud somewhere down the line? Can we potentially get a CM Punk versus The Rock? At this level in their career, like what does that look like?
Yeah.
Is CM Punk going to be a part of John Cena's retirement farewell tour?
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
And if so, how much does he have left in the tank to put on? Like it's not like him and Cena back in Chicago, you know what I'm saying? Like neither one of these guys are spring chickens, so who knows? But he could be someone that could.
Yeah. I think that he because he took those years off and his body wasn't taking the bumps and stuff like that. I think it actually added longevity to his career.
Yeah, maybe.
So I think that has added some years to his career, and now that this new crop of talent and the new regime and everything, and then John Cena on his farewell tour, I think definitely John Cena is going to try to revisit some unfinished business, and CM Punk is one of them.
Yeah, so, I think at the press conference he already mentioned that he wanted to be a part of the John Cena tour, farewell tour.
I still gotta watch the press conference. I didn't even see all of it, but
I didn't. I just seen like little glimpses. Like apparently Drew McIntyre came out and he wanted to smoke with CM Punk, and then Adam Pearce try to pull him away, and then he elbowed Adam Pearce.
Yeah, because I saw that part. Two referees came out first.
Yeah,
and he turned around, faced them, pushed them both, and then he turned back and was looking at the camera, yelling at CM Punk. And Adam Pearce came out and grabbed him, and Drew didn't turn around. He just was like, "Dang."
Don't elbow me in my forehead, man.
But the boy did. He did a IG, and Adam Pearce suspended him indefinitely.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah. So now with that happening, I think the Seth Rollins and CM Punk feud is gonna cook a little bit while Drew is out.
So maybe in SummerSlam, do we get Seth Rollins versus CM Punk SummerSlam with Drew McIntyre interfering, and then get the triple threat at Bad Blood? Because Bad Blood, it gotta we already know it's gonna be Bloodline, so it's gonna be some type of beginning of Bloodline Civil War.
Yeah.
That's about. So then, other than that, it would be not Nia Jax. It would be Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. There will be Bad Blood there, so you would assume that there will be a build up from SummerSlam where if it's not Rhea versus Liv, maybe Liv faces someone else, beats them, then Rhea Ripley comes out.
Yeah,
Hey,
and
I'm
then
back.
Bill.
Yeah, so you got that part of it. So then you got to look and see, what else. You got to have CM Punk. Yeah, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Solo Sikoa, Roman Reigns. I think SummerSlam, Solo Sikoa gets a shot at the title, but then Roman Reigns or someone from Roman Reigns' faction interferes and costs Solo the title. So now, Bad Blood, we have that person or those people versus the new iteration of Bloodline. So they gotta fill up the roster. Then possibly
Yeah,
Gunther versus if it's Gunther versus Damian Priest again. Because I anticipate Gunther walking out of SummerSlam as the champion. I
oh
think
yeah, I do
this
too.
one's the new workhorse champion. So
Yeah,
then does Damian Priest get his rematch at Bad Blood? It's interesting to see. Wrestling is back, man. That's
I
all.
think.
All I got. Wrestling is certainly back, man.
Yeah,
I've been watching a little more Raw and SmackDown more than I have been in a couple of years, and it's I'm invested in this stuff. I like the direction that they're going in.
yeah,
I'm loving the
definitely.
production. So I'm hoping we see some good stuff in the future, man.
Oh yeah, same here, man. Look, we done had a 3-hour conversation. You know what I'm
3 hour
saying?
combo, man.
Yo, this was good, man. I appreciate you coming on again, L.A. Brooks.
Yeah.
Yo, what? And once again, thank y'all for tuning in to Wrestling with Holiday. I'm sure LA will be back on here another time whenever.
Of
You're always
course.
welcome.
Of course.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace and love.
Hey, smash that subscribe button.
Oh yeah, definitely. Smash that subscribe, hit the like
Oh
button,
my God,
share.
man. Sharing is caring. You know what I'm saying? Share the link, hit the subscribe button. I know we got some we got a lot of us out there, you know what I'm saying? A lot of folks that like talking wrestling. Don't necessarily got a lot of people to talk wrestling with, you know what I'm saying? Like, come talk wrestling with us, have some
Exactly.
fun with us, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you see, good conversation. Get some back and forth. Like we in the ring with the mic promo.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's always a good time. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share. We see y'all next time.
Peace.